return with the capital V. This is Based Hooligan Podcast, episode 13. And this is a big one. We are joined by the illustrious, the black metal guy of the legendary podcast Terminus. How's it going, man?
It's going great. It's really cool to be on here with you guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, good to have you, man.
Yeah, no, I'm excited because we're getting around to a very, very much requested group of bands. Now we're not doing. I figured this would be a good jumping off point for this entire scene.
Yeah, it's like a part one.
Yeah, exactly. We're doing Hammerkrieg, which is the Blazebirth Hall compilation. This is just I figured it was the best way to kind of introduce. Obviously, if you're listening to this podcast, you are probably very familiar with Blazebirth Hall, but this gives us an opportunity to talk about generally the entire scene. So Raven Dark, Rindigor, Forest, Brannicald, Nitberg, all the above. And it's a very incestuous black metal circle. Most, if not all, these bands share. If it's not the same members, it's a kind of like a revolving door of, okay, this guy's doing vocals in this project, and then he does drums, and then he does guitar. So it's a very multifaceted project. But with that being said, I would say the brains behind the operation would be Kaldrad, rest in peace. I'm sure we'll talk about his influence on not only the Russian black metal scene and Blazebirth Hall, but black metal overall. So
we could do an episode. We could do an episode on Kaldrad alone, and then also Blazebirth Hall. So.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, so I figured we just each kind of go around the horn and kind of talk about our feelings on Blazebirth Hall in general, and then what our general thoughts of this sampler CD was, or compilation CD.
Sure.
So, the black metal guy, do you want to tee it off?
The black metal guy.
Or TBMG.
I know. It's a ridiculous name.
I just realized that's also. Oh, is that what you go by?
So the show, we have a the conceit is just that because it was pseudonymous. The conceit is that we have two hosts: the black metal guy and the death metal guy.
Well, Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, and it's very broad strokes. Obviously, I like death metal and he likes black metal, but we just stereotyped ourselves a little bit. Yeah.
Stereotypes are good.
I think so. Yes.
So in the for the sake of pure disclosure, this is nothing personal, but I don't listen to any metal content online. I'm old, so I fucking hate everything. So I'm not that familiar with your podcast aside from an episode. You were on there, weren't you? Based? Hooligan?
We've never had Based on. We haven't had too many guests. It's something we've been meaning to do more.
You were on the other good one.
Oh, Bunsen Burner?
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
which got deleted, by the way. It got banned for hate speech.
Oh God.
No way.
Yeah. When I talked about goat, I didn't even say anything that inflammatory. I think it was just because I was talking about Goat Moon.
Oh, just that episode, not the whole. Okay.
Yeah,
good.
just my episode.
So
Nice.
I'm not familiar with what you do aside from what little bit I've heard, and then my friends like your stuff, and it's nothing personal. You know what I mean? It's just like plus when he said hey, we're gonna have Terminus guy on, I'm like, awesome, that guy's fucking cool. So and plus he's not gonna put somebody on with me, especially that's
right.
Fucking idiot. You know what I mean? Because I am opinionated, and I'm an asshole. So and I get the feeling you are too. So that's good. We should get along.
Yes, I am. That's why I have a podcast.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm not offended.
Awesome. Yeah.
I'm not offended at all, dude. Yeah. The less you gotta limit the amount of fucking content you consume, especially when it's people talking at you. And I don't know, given I record one of these shows, I don't listen to the other shows as much as I should. Obviously, I've listened to some Bunsen Burner. I've listened to some of your guys' show. It's been awesome seeing your rapid rise.
Thanks, man.
Very cool. Yeah,
it's fun.
It's
gay that I said it was fun.
I really like the Spear of Longinus episode.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
But yeah, I listened to some Radio Free Innsmouth and all these things, but like at the end of the day, yeah, most of the time I'm not listening to other metal podcasts either, and I'm glad you're not.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy silence just as much as I like music. You know what I mean? So like, I especially if I'm I usually listen to podcasts when I drive. So I need some new content though to listen to, because like we were just talking about this before we recorded. Like, there's nothing good to listen to. Like, as far as podcasts, comedy's dead. Everybody's got stupid opinions. Like, it's not the before time anymore. Like, you can't be honest.
I just listen to people talking about Lord of the Rings or Warhammer.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be a lot worse. You know, you know what I mean? Like it's yeah, I'm glad there's been like a resurgence of Lord of the Rings stuff, because like the fandom kind of ruined it for me. Like the tranny fucking people that picked up on it and decided that they were gonna go hard. Like, oh, I love Tolkien, but then they're like, he's kind of based, right?
Yeah,
like,
then they look into what Tolkien actually stood for.
Yeah. Like, the stuff's legendary for a reason, so it's like a Tolkien podcast. I'm sure there's many. Like,
there's a lot of bad ones, but there's a few good ones.
Yeah, and he is not just those movies, which is the thing. Like, the Tolkien is best experienced with a book in your hand. You know what I mean?
You gotta read the Silmarillion.
I was gonna say Silmarillion. It's literally like it's like the Bible for Middle Earth. It's crazy.
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah, so Blazebirth. Do we want to?
Let's just
about podcasts. Or
just jump into it, man. No, yeah.
So
it's a free flowing thing.
Right.
Yeah, much to the audience's chagrin, they hate it when we go off on 40-minute tangents. It was like what was it, anal cunt? They said it was 35. It was a 2.5 hour long podcast and 35 minutes of anal cunt.
Yeah, it's fucking autistic people.
Some of my favorite things in the absurd episode were the tangents. You guys did like a great little bit on like based punk in the early 2000s. Like, okay, Battle Ruins, great band. But so let's see. I think I came relatively late to Blazebirth Hall stuff. I think I heard about it pretty early and bounced off it to the extent that I gave it a shot. I think I was, whereas something like Graveland or Hate Forest was always much more intuitive for me. Graveland I got into almost as soon as the Norwegian stuff, and I think Hate Forest around that time as well, or not that much later. I think it took a process of me getting more and more into like specifically pagan black metal and looking for more things in that vein, but really also really also just Lamb, or Simone from Sanguine Eagle. I was hanging out and with him and talking to him a lot, and some of those other House of First Light guys. And Lamb, always spoke very highly of Blazebirth Hall and sort of encouraged me to dig into it more. I think, even so, it was still a bit of a tough sell for me. And it's taken, honestly, like, I think at this point, I take it very seriously, and I think it's one of the most profound of the black circles that you have. And
I think it might be the most. It's the one that warrants the most serious. Like, you can't just passively listen to Blazebirth Hall, which I've found very much as this week has passed listening to this compilation. And I would put it in and be doing stuff around the house. It would just sound like a blur of noise. Like, you can only discern what they're going for when you sit down and truly focus on it, which I think is really some people might say that that's a knock against the music, but it's not, because it's this swirling epic.
It demands your attention,
soundscape.
Man.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't listen to it casually. It's not fucking Sodom on the freeway and riffs and beer and stuff. That's fine, but like, and not to be like overly fruity about it, but like you can't just listen to it. You can, but it's not going to be the same experience. you know. So, and I think to your point, like it's there are other scenes that are more influential, like obviously the Norwegian one, R.I.P., and Temple of Full Moon, R.I.P., but like they don't have as much solid quality output as Blazebirth Hall, because like you will be hard pressed to find something bad come out of that. You know what I mean? There are things that aren't as good as others, but none of it's like fucking terrible. Turn this off. You know what I mean? So.
Well, they certainly don't have any. I mean, with the Norwegians, of course, you have a bunch of things that are effectively like sellout or fall off records.
Yeah.
And like, and you don't really have, there's Blazebirth stuff that's not as good, but it never has the sort of, spiritless anemia that later Dark Throne does, right?
Yeah.
Or that like the Immortal Skateboard Deck album does, or whatever, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's but yeah, I don't know. I think like personally, if I had to like, so I could get more. I have some thoughts about like the significance of the music and all that, but just like in a more casual way, I guess. Okay, I think I'm mostly an Ulv and String Skald guy. I think you obviously have to give Kaldrad credit as the originator and creative visionary, and brought the circle together and pushed the envelope experimentally, really. But I tend to gravitate towards, I mean, I think Nagelride is just, that would be, the final Nitberg record would probably be my favorite Blazebirth Hall record. And I really like, the first Raven Dark, and this will also be somewhat controversial. I like the last Forest record a lot.
I love that record too.
And that's the one where String Skald is writing, or doing a lot of the writing.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one that just came out, right? Or like was released with like no original members are on it, but like he
that's the
it.
Forest record that's soon to be coming out. But,
that's the one that's coming up that people are very bothered about. But I really like In the Flame of Glory.
That's the one with like the Viking ship and the SS soldiers, and
yes,
it's a really interesting.
That album's great, man. That album is like if they took Marduk's Opus Nocturne and made it not gay. Like it looks like Christopher Wimp artwork, and it's fucking amazing. It is kind of weird. There's like Vikings and soldiers coming out of the. I don't know. I get it, but it's like, I mean, it's black metal. It's got to be retarded, but
it's a very RAC motif for sure.
Yeah. A lot of people don't like this cover because I think you could accuse it of having the quality of like explaining the joke a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Like, I get it.
Yes. The entire point.
It's all related.
Yes, exactly.
I mean that's a good way to put it though, man. Like that's a very eloquent way to put that, is explaining it. You know what I mean? It's like on the nose. It's like putting a hat on a hat,
However, after so many records, maybe Forrest has earned the right to be a little heavy-handed, right?
Yeah.
Like, because ultimately it does look extremely fucking sick.
Oh yeah, I mean, to me it looks like an RAC record.
Yeah.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Which versus the kind of like galactic, and I guess these like amorphic blobs that were on the early Forest records and Branda called stuff. It is interesting that they basically kind of leaned into, okay, we need to stop being so abstract. We just need to show what we're about.
Oh, dude, let's. That's something I wanted to talk about. But Rune, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say it did get reissued on Ragnarok in 2022, and if you want to talk about more straightforward, the Forest album. Like, have you seen that one? It's just like some fucking officers, some good guys with some sun wheels on their cars. It's like, in case the last cartoon version wasn't enough for you, this is what this is. So, but it does look a little harder. But I love that fucking album because it looks like an RAC record. You know what I mean? Like,
I think it has a great combination of the more sort of angular and aggressive riffing that String Skald does with the sort of shamanic abstraction from the earlier records,
Yeah.
In the vocal style, then
yes.
I'll give RFI credit for this, and I thought this was a brilliant term, but he said the skaldic proclamatory style of vocals. The
that rules, man.
Yeah, basically when they switch to those type of vocals, I fucking love that shit.
Oh yeah, it's totally prideful, man. Fucking rules.
Yeah. They take very seriously that sense of continuity. They like Blazebirth Hall more than a lot of these guys really tried to think about how they fit into history, and like thought of themselves as artists and as the heirs to the skalds and the Eddic poets, and as trying to relate what they did even with guitars to the mythos, right? Like,
absolutely.
Only Blazebirth Hall could give you a record called "The Strings of Inspiration Sing," which is literally about his guitar strings.
That shit is some of my favorite stuff, and that is like so. That material is so fucking deep, and then like on back to the comp, like the song "The Steel Strings of the Spirit," like it's either the same song or a reworked song or something, but like that, like it's the last song on the comp. It's 14 minutes, and Jesus Christ, I get fucking mesmerized every time I listen to that. Same way with as the previous stuff. It's insane. It's very quiet, and you can't listen to that and just be doing like wash the dishes. It's
it
an
demands your
interesting
attention.
listen. Yeah.
100%.
And that's a really good way to think about it. Like the fact that they put that much thought into it, like they thought of themselves as artists, they thought of themselves as being part of the. I mean, not to be fucking gay, but like the greater. It's all music, right? The greater musical canon. Like no matter how small this corner of it is, like it's still important. And this bleeds more fucking feeling and like, I don't know. There's so much feeling to it, and conviction, it just pisses on everything else. Like you can like other stuff, but like if you listen to Brandy Called or the early Forest stuff, and then you're like, oh, okay, I'm gonna put something else on. So you can't, dude. I'm emotionally depleted after listening to some of that stuff. I know that's fruity, but it's fucking true, man. And that's why it's great stuff. It's the same thing as like Absurd. It's not as maybe not as emotion. It's a different emotion, but it's
absolutely.
But it takes me somewhere, and that's like a benchmark for me. If a band is good, if you can move me, then I'm fucking sold. So, and that goes for any kind of music, Yeah,
and it's fascinating that through one of the through lines in the entire Blazebirth Hall scene, and what's so interesting about this scene is how consistent the quality of all of these projects are. None of it feels like a throwaway at all.
Yeah.
It's all very intentional, and they all have they serve their own purpose, and they all eventually kind of became some of the starts of each project, or some of the projects could be rudimentary, but they absolutely developed as with each consecutive release. So it's interesting to see what happened to some of these bands.
Absolutely.
I think one thing I wanted to bring up is, so Nitberg specifically, so they had a demo in 1999, and then the very first like actual I guess appearance of them besides the demo would have been the comp, which is pretty interesting because Nitberg is one of my favorite projects within the Blazebirth Hall circle, and they lead off the entire compilation with Asgard Flames, and that's one of the strongest tracks on the compilation. I love that.
Yo, that one is fucking that's a crusher, man.
It's so good.
It's very elegant in the melodies, and it's crazy that was just on the early split too. That like it sounds more mature and better produced than a lot of the stuff they did after that before Nagelride.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's such a fucking I think Nitberg is almost takes me the same place as fucking Brandy Called. It's on par. I mean, and that's probably Caldrad, but
and I feel like Nitberg gets overshadowed by Brandy Called, but the material that's on the Nagelfried is Nagelreed is some of the best black metal material that I've
absolutely,
heard in my life.
Man.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And I think it's where they wanted their like it seems to be where they wanted to take the sound. It seems kind of like Nitberg became the band that had all the members in it that was being foregrounded, and then Ulf died, and maybe things changed a little bit, but like it's a very concerted effort to synthesize a bunch of different aspects of their sound, and that's something honestly that I should credit RFI for this. Jub is also a Nitberg truther, and he described it as the culmination of Blazebirth Hall. So I think
absolutely,
Nitberg
I can see that.
A lot of people write it off as like a sideshow to the Brannicolden Forest thing, or to the more obscure reaches of the scene. Right? For some people, for some people, like the Nitberg sound might be too hi-fi or whatever. But I think it's like, I totally get other people having a preference for whatever, like the most gauzy, dreamiest Brannicold stuff. But like, you got to take the Nitberg seriously, and this comp definitely like puts them in everyone's faces.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I don't know. What do you guys think? If like maybe it's because they didn't have as much of a prolific output. Like Brannicold's got a lot of stuff, and they have these long sweeping albums, and maybe I don't know. It may not have been marketed. I hate that word, but it may not have been marketed the same way or something. But because I don't know, because it's just as good as Forest and Brannicold, I think. But it's they just don't have 4, 5, 6 albums or more like Brannicold.
Yeah, I don't know. It was definitely an interesting choice to have Nitberg specifically tip off the entire compilation, and for it to be, in my opinion, that's like one of the standout Nitberg tracks in their overall discography. That's one of the things that really jumped out to me listening to this comp. So I'd listened to this comp a few times previously, but didn't really. I was just like, oh, it's just. I didn't really give much mind to it because obviously I had all the other full albums from each project to listen to. But I think what's interesting is listening to all these projects back to back instead of just piecing out. Okay, I'm going to listen to a Forest record here. I'm going to listen to a Nitberg record. I'm going to listen to Brannicold, etc. But listening to it almost in like playlist style, very intentionally. You see all the various nuances from these projects. Because I'll be honest, sometimes it can kind of in my head run together where I'm like, okay, I know Forest is that's more Dark Throne worship. Brannicold is more, still Dark Throne and with Burzum, Isengard, etc. Like all their influences. But when you start listening to them played in succession, specifically on this comp, you can really hear the various like, okay, this Nitberg obviously has way more pagan elements than a Brannicold does in this time time period at least. But I don't know. That's what I thought was interesting about this comp.
It's all relative to time period too, because like the thing that's very confusing about the reason it can seem to run together is that they always have a clear idea of what they want to be doing with each project, but those ideas change. Like you could say that Forest is the really sort of like in-your-face anthemic kind of epic band that brings it all together, right? But then you get a record like Foredooming the Hope for Eternity, which is almost like fucking almost DSBM, or you get like or like Brannicold has distinct phases. You have the early sort of aggressive folkish phase, and then it becomes more and more spacey. And then he sort of starts dialing it back in towards that aggressive folky sound at the end. And those are the tracks that they stick on here. There's not like aside from Steel Strings of the Spirit at the end. But yeah, this has a lot of the more sort of muscular folk melody rooted Brannicold type stuff.
Yeah,
I thought it was interesting. They only put one Forest track on this entire comp. So
it's probably to make room for that fucking 14-minute Brannicold outro, man.
Right, yeah.
But I just noticed that too. I mean, it is 9 minutes long almost. So I mean, the other ones are standard songs, but like, I mean, the Nitberg song is a little longer, but yeah, I mean, it's a long song, and it may have just been enough. I mean, that song is great. So
maybe they figured that enough people already knew Forest.
Yeah,
that's kind of your calling card band, you know.
Yeah, because this entire does anyone know the history of this comp? Was it really just to showcase Blazebirth Hall as a scene to the public?
I mean, I remember when it came out. It came out on Hakenkreuz, which was that's the guy from Pantheon, and I think that he probably wanted to do that. I mean, it came. What year did it come out? It's 2003, so it's like kind of before the internet took over and ruined everything. I mean, it was going, but it wasn't really bad, and like Pantheon guys were active. The underground was still strong, and people in as much as like people were writing, like I met some of these people through writing letters, before email. So that it almost feels like you're closer because you've had to do something tangible, not something as mindless as sending off an email. So I never met the guys in Pantheon, but like I have written them, like back in the 90s. So that is more special than like getting an email saying like thanks or something, you know what I mean? So I think that he probably really respected it and wanted to showcase it. They may have put it out together and or not put it out, but like compiled it and been like, hey, we need to find a cool label to do this. But there weren't many cool labels back then. Like it was a specifically NS. I mean, it doesn't really. I mean, so the layout is very NS on the CD version, but like if you just listen to it, it's not like there's not like Nazi stuff everywhere.
Yeah, it's not. It's not like a Wignat NS.
Exactly. It doesn't have all this like performative
Hitler
stuff
speeches and stuff.
Yeah, it's
more
Like
high-minded.
yeah, exactly. Which is the way it should be. And I could see. I think that's how Vautrin kind of thinks too. I mean, that's the same vibe I get from Pantheon. Now, I don't know these things for sure, but that's just what I could gather. Like they probably wanted to work with a label that was serious, not just some like standard metal label. Like even labels that were putting out extreme stuff, you wanted to put out something. If it's a national like concept album or compilation, you want to put it out someone who walks the walk. So anybody can slap a swastika on something and say 1488, but it's like, do you understand the spirituality behind everything? So I think that I don't know, but I would imagine that's what it was, just spirit of the underground.
Yeah, and you're probably right, and that's something I also wanted to kind of tee off to, is that like the BBH scene has always, it's been the more high-minded outlet for the NSBM scene overall, in my opinion, because you have, like I mentioned, the total like Wignat, white trash, or sometimes brown, depending on what part of the world you're from, slapping Totenkopf, swastikas, black suns, all sorts of confrontational imagery. But Blazebirth Hall has kind of stood apart from, they have these very atmospheric, these stoic, these abstract paintings often on their covers, and it's meant to convey the spirit of instead of putting it out in your face. It's like those who know, they're not having to go out, and because of how serious they are about this, they don't have to put it in your face. It's something that just is supposed to naturally convey through the music itself.
That's the same with early Graveland and Velez. You know what I mean? Like that stuff is NS, but it's like if you look at the cover of Carpathian Wolves or Celtic Winter, or it's like it could be Darkthrone. You know what I mean? Obviously, it's not a good comparison, but if you're looking at in a record store or something, it's like, oh, okay,
it blends in.
This?
Yeah.
You don't know like. You don't know how deep it is until you get your mind around it.
I mean, I think, it's the difference between the exoteric trappings of a particular political movement at a particular time and an attempt to apprehend and continue its core, its essence, right?
Absolutely.
Which can take different forms over time. Yeah, and, I've always thought that in some ways almost like in some ways the NSBM label is unnecessary because there simply is no safe black metal. Right?
Exactly.
There's a whole spectrum of political beliefs there, right? From you have guys like Rob Darkin, who obviously have never really been NS dudes per se, right? Despite the band, right? There's a whole spectrum of views on the right in black metal, but like you don't
it's not necessary. It should
Right.
it should be implicit in the music itself.
Right.
To a
Right.
certain extent.
You know what's really offensive? Naming your band fucking Emperor. Right? And it was at the time, and it was understood as such. And, I actually saw a funny thing recently where Antifa boycotted Emperor and Primordial in 1993. Just because they got one sniff of it and they could tell it was, they were like, something's wrong here.
Yeah.
It's been present in black metal since the inception of the scene, essentially.
Right. So obviously, I wouldn't want to discount Blazebirth Hall. They are very specifically committed to NS ideology. But on another hand, they are thinking of what they do as part of a broader tradition of black metal, which is concerned more with a deeper set of values, metaphysical ways of perceiving the world, a mythos, and in that way they have a lot in common. They're speaking to all of black metal and all of metal and all of music in general, as opposed to just speaking to people at a rally, which there's a niche for bands like that, right? A lot of RAC is like that. That's totally fine. But BBH are swinging for the bleachers here.
And Blazebirth Hall is one of those bands that you would find at like a place like Aquarius Records in San Francisco, for example. Like they kind of, not that they were ever associated with the quote hipster black metal, which I hate to even say that, but there was a time in I would say the late 90s, early 2000s where it was, if you were a guy getting into black metal, but you might have liked some indie music, like anything that was like hard to obtain and you were seeking out stuff that was arcane or interesting. The Blazebirth Hall stuff was in that circle. To some extent. And I've heard this from firsthand accounts of people who are finding Brandicald tapes or CDs at, I don't know, mainstream, or not mainstream, but record stores where you would not expect to find this material, I'll say.
Well, that comes from the people working there.
Yeah.
Aquarius was because that guy, Aesop Decker, famous drummer for Agalock and a bunch of other really bad bands. He was really into Blazebirth Hall, and he got that stuff in the store.
Oh, he worked there.
Yeah, he worked there.
No shit. Oh my god. Because
he was into Vothana, and even though he thought it was cool because before the comeback, he was into Vothana, and he's like, oh, it's funny because I'm Jewish, but see, I'm cool because I can just put it to the side, until things started getting a little heavy, and then he just disowned it, and he sold a lot of his collection in the store.
It's it's the blue hair chick pussy. Right?
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
sort of, a lot of guys got called back in right around 2016.
Absolutely.
It's the Trolls Remorse. Classic case of Trolls Remorse.
But yeah, I did read Cosmic Curse back in the day, and a lot I know.
Yeah, there you go.
I learned, I discovered a ton of shit from Cosmic Curse. He was always repping BBH, and back then he had perfectly reasonable things to say about
exactly.
And he, if anything, he seemed to have a lot of contempt for the people who were trying to censor him. It is quite sad how he turned tail.
Yeah, I mean, he turned into a fucking prissy Pringle-haired fucking dork, man. And I was at a show in a festival in California called Stella Natura, and one of his bands played, and he was so upset because there were guys there that were nationalists. There were white supremacists, and they were selling books, but there was also lots of other people selling books and literature and propaganda, but those guys really bothered him. And he was just going around to people saying like, "Oh my God, can you believe this? I don't feel safe. Oh my God!" Like,
jeez.
it was the most. And this sounds fruity, but it's not. Like, that was a great festival, and it had all kinds of music. It was and there was no drama. The only drama was from him bitching. He pitched a fit, and him and his girlfriend left and went straight to the internet and was just calling people out, saying like, "Oh my God, this is a Nazi fest." And then I got back home and I had these emails saying like, "Do you have a statement on why this happened? Why did you go? Why didn't you leave? Do you support this stuff?" I was like, dude, no, there was no drama. There were Nazi guys drinking mead with like clearly homosexual individuals and like
Death in June
Mexican
fan club.
people. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Dude, it's
official
like,
Death in June fan club meetup.
Yeah.
everybody there was there for an experience, and it was fantastic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was great because there
like
was Neil.
I'd honestly written it off because I assumed it was some Cascadian bullshit, but it sounds like it was a good.
Not at
sounds
all.
like it was a good time.
It was fantastic, dude. There was plenty of black metal. There was plenty of death. Well, there wasn't a lot of death metal. There was some death doom, and there was like neo folk and experimental. It was the whole spectrum, and it was in the mountains, but it wasn't like it wasn't like Fire in the Mountains or whatever.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that.
Oh.
It was really fucking good, and like it was an experience, dude. It was crazy. There were some great after parties in these lodges where it wasn't like beer drinking. It was like people like, I don't know if you guys know that band Changes, but those guys
vaguely,
just they're like a great neo folk band, but it's not like that fruity kind of neo folk where that got really popular. Like,
weren't Changes the first neo folk band?
They're one of them. They're up there, but they're definitely based individuals, and they've been doing it forever. And
Rune, I
they were
think
just
you're
like
referring to King Dude, the neo folk
like,
that got popular and annoying.
but like those dudes had their guitars, and they were just like, "You guys want us to play?" And like everybody was on mushrooms and just chilling next to a fire, and they just started fucking playing, and it was awesome, dude. And like that's the kind of stuff you go to that thing for. There was no drama. There was zero drama. There weren't even people drunk fighting. It was just a good time, you know? And like I don't know. I'm tangenting here.
You know what it is? It reminds me of the Heathen Harvest scene back in the day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, I think we've talked about them on the podcast before.
Yes.
I got asked to write for them, and I was like, no. Just because it was just bad.
But they got annihilated. I remember when that happened.
No, I liked Heathen Harvest. I thought Heathen Harvest was great.
I was a fan. I read it for years.
Well, it was, he cucked, man. The guy cucked, and it was cool, but he cucked hard. He was like, I have to disown all this stuff.
I think it was because he got hit with a level of depersoning that was so aggressive. Look, what I would say is he put himself out there for a very long time.
Yeah.
And in a very bold way when he was already getting a lot of shit. I think if at a certain point someone wants to bow out and they need to say some things in public, that's okay. And, even if he had a genuine change of heart and now he thinks things that I would disagree with or whatever, you can hardly fucking blame the guy.
I agree
sometimes.
with that. I agree with that.
It's like, you do your time, like, we can be like, we can judge people as individuals, but the gods see all, the gods judge all. And like, I think, I have heard, I know some things about how this went down, and I don't think you can blame the guy. Yeah.
Well, I stand corrected then, because I was under the impression that it was, because it got really weak towards the end, and that's when they asked me to write for him, and I was like, no. And
from my
I wasn't
memory,
even going to do anything crazy. It was just like, I don't want, if I'm going to write, I just want to give my opinion. You know what I mean? So
do y'all remember in like 2016 to 2017 when everything got shut down? Like the entire internet was like afraid of everything. I think it happened during that time.
It did. It happened right then, and before everyone had like learned to roll their eyes at it.
Exactly. People were like, oh my God.
The other thing about Heathen Harvest was like, obviously I can't speak for the guy, but Sage was more like a sort of post-left or pure anarcho, neither left nor right kind of guy, right?
Yeah, that was the vibe I got from him.
You could maybe have called him a right anarchist, but you could have also, because he was interested in folkishness and tradition and all that, but you also could have linked him to the left in a lot of ways because he wasn't like hung up on Christian morality and all this shit. So
as long as he wasn't a communist, man, that's what everybody's falling for now.
Well, the issue everyone took with him was that he wasn't a communist. But like he was never what Heathen Harvest was supposed to represent, and. Yeah, I can't speak for the guy. It's just the sense I get from his writing and stuff like that, right? About where he was coming from. And a lot of what Heathen Harvest stood for was they had this crossover between people who had common interests in like paganism and nature and all that shit, who were coming from different places and interacting. And some of those places would be like, the sort of sort of like witchy bookstore ladies, and some of them would be NSBM dudes, and
people, obviously.
And I really, obviously, like the culture pulled everyone apart and made them like think. The culture war pulled everyone apart, but I kind of miss like, I like a lot of those witchy bookstore people.
We always bring this up, but it was before Feral House got cucked, like that type of vibe. You would have leftist types that could be cool with a right dude.
You bring up, that's a good point. Like back in the day, like the witchy bookstore people were also outsiders. You know what I mean? Like, so you would get along with them. And that's something you could have. You had common ground. Now those people have completely hijacked the narrative and have like injected it with communism, and then they scream the loudest, so people think they're the most important. And then now they have blue hair and they stand out. It's like nature giving, like, it's like nature always gives like
flower or something.
Yeah, like it looks like, if it looks dangerous, it looks like that for a reason. It's a warning sign, dude. But yeah, like it's the same thing with gay people and trans people. Like back in, like we talk about early sleaze on here a lot. Like and like one of our favorite movies is Cruising, and like that's about like a gay serial killer. That movie's based, dude. Like back then, trans people and gay people were society's outlaws, like in a lot of ways. So that's there you go. And so like, you know what I mean? Like, so there was common ground there, but it's totally different now. So like, it's not about like you could do whatever the hell you want to in the bedroom, but like it's not that. It's the spirit of it, like they were outsiders without trying to be. They had to be. They were pushed aside, and now it's like they're the loudest. Like and something's pushing.
Now they're on the side of like Pepsi.
Yeah, exactly. They're Pepsi.
That's who's fighting the fight for them.
And I think that they've just empowered them, and that's the only way. So, and that's obviously not all gay people, but it's and trans people, but it's fucking, for such a small percentage of the population to have that much control. It's like another tribe that we talk about, but it's fucking it sucks, dude.
One way you could put it is just like, yeah, I mean, I've never had a problem with people, as you say, doing whatever they want, and or being, androgynous weirdos or whatever. That stuff has always been a part of like, outsider art or culture. I don't have a problem with that, but I think it's been politicized in a certain way, and the way you could characterize it really is just like feminism. It's like,
exactly.
It just, it's been polarized around the sort of like transgressive sexual energy or whatever has been directed towards resentment against men and an order of the world that's identified with men and white guys and whatever. And it really doesn't have to be. Just listen to any of the 80s post-industrial music or whatever, right?
I mean, like, in like pagan traditions and stuff, and most societies, what am I trying to say here? Most cultures, pre-internet, industrial, like, women were always equal. That, like, it was until it got politicized. Like, women play such an integral part of the human experience and everything else. You know what I mean? They have their place. And I'm not saying like, it's in the fucking kitchen making sandwiches. I'm not saying that.
Right.
They're important. And it's just like a famous uncle of ours said, motherhood to women should be like war is to a man. You know what I mean? It's part of our blood. It's part of our instincts. So that's special. But it got politicized with the feminism movement because it was just, I don't know. There's so much history behind that, and there's so many people behind that, if you know what I mean, that it's just like, it's disgusting that it had to take that way. And now it's just blossomed into this totally fucking decadent garbage Weimar tier fucking bullshit world we live in now. Like everything has to be subversive in the guise of equality, and that's bullshit. That is not what it is.
Well, yep.
I was just thinking about, how we got on this was because I mentioned that you used to be able to find Blazebirth Hall in a lefty store. They would sell that, but there was a time when I remember John Durnell, he's the vocalist of the Mountain Goats. He used to have a blog, and he reviewed like Clandestine Blaze. He reviewed Brandy Called on it.
Yeah, that guy's cool, man.
Yeah.
He was a good example of an outsider who didn't patronize metal.
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
He would often like couch his reviews and like, now I don't agree with them, but they make good music. That whole line. But at least a guy like that was intellectually curious enough to be like, okay, because nowadays people just put a complete block on it and be like, nope, I will never listen to it. But they're missing out on some genuinely powerful music that they'll just never hear. Which is kind of
that's the way it should be.
Yeah, I guess one thing that, if we want to bring it back to the music a little bit, one of the other things here that was powerfully influenced by Blazebirth Hall was Wolves in the Throne Room. And, as a kid, I thought of them as posers, but if you go back and you think about it, if you think about what they actually said in those old interviews, journalists were just so thrilled that Wolves in the Throne Room weren't an NSBM band that they were like, yeah, these are our guys. But like Wolves in the Throne Room really had more in common with that whole sort of Heathen Harvest, Stella Natura type milieu, and we're like, they're kind of, they seem to actually be folkish pagans, just like very low key and private about it.
Weren't those guys brothers? And like they kind of, at least in the beginning, weren't they? Didn't they like what do you call it? Like when you, like they lived off I don't know if they were off grid.
Farming?
Yeah. Weren't they? Like I thought that was cool. Like I didn't really get into their music. It got a little out in the weeds with me when they got on Southern Lord, but it got kind of weird. But like I let the fandom ruin things for me. Like the people.
We all
for sure. No, we all do.
Yeah.
It's. But yeah, anyway, BBH had a big impact on modern American black metal specifically, whether it's through Wolves or through the subtler and more underground, authentic influence of stuff like Laskavik, who Aesop distributed. Aesop put out a Laskavik record, so he can never forget that.
That guy's weird.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that in a bad way. Like I used to deal with that guy. There's nothing wrong with him.
Oh, the Laskavik guy.
Yeah. Talk about outsider. That guy's a fucking outsider. Like seriously, man, and he is dedicated to his music. So not all of it's my favorite, but he's done some good stuff, and he is a fucking genuine weirdo. And I don't mean that bad, and I mean that in a good way. And that is funny that I didn't know that he worked with Aesop.
I'm pretty sure. I'm giving you that a 75%. I'm pretty sure I remember.
Oh, I believe it.
I remember Aesop saying something. He was basically just like, "Yeah, I put out one of their records. They seemed like cool dudes to me." And
of course, dude.
Yeah.
Like the guy's not gonna like grab him up by the neck and throw him in a chamber. You know what I mean? Like that's not how it is, dude. That's not how the modern left thinks that's how things roll. It's not that, man.
Yeah. Like, so there was a time when Aesop understood that, and then he pretended to not understand it.
Well, people change, like you said.
All right. So aside from total vengeance against early 2000s internet personalities, who've betrayed our ideas of the leaders they could be, I guess I don't know, like, I mean, we could just keep talking about that, to be honest. It certainly opened a number of cans of worms.
Well, yeah, it did. But I mean, there's still plenty I have to say about the comp, but I mean,
it's just No, go ahead.
One band, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but I always thought that that Raven Dark and Rundagore, mm-hmm. people don't talk about them as much. I always thought both those bands were really good. It's a little bit more Styro coded. It's not totally Styro. It's not as intense as the other, but it's really, really good stuff. And I think the song Inhaling the Murder, which is like not only one of the best song titles on the comp, like that song fucking rules, man. Inhaling the Murder. That is black metal at its essence. Like it is fucking amazing. It may not be a standout track, but it's one of those things kind of like early Darkthrone where like if you just listen to it, it just sounds like fuzz and noise. But if you really listen to Transylvanian Hunger, there's some really unique arrangements going on there. And I think it's the same thing with Rundagore and Ravendark. I'm not comparing the bands, but I think it's the same thing where it's like,
oh yeah,
you have to pay attention to it and really get yourself like involved in it and really enveloped in what's happening, because it's a whole vibe. Like it's I love both of those bands a lot, and people don't really talk about. Maybe they don't. I mean,
so Ravendark, just personally speaking, is one of, I think they are top 3 Blazebirth Hall bands for me. I only have one Blazebirth Hall shirt, and it's a Ravendark shirt.
Really?
Big fan of his project, but I think because he, I don't know, they don't have like the obviously they have Autumn Roar, which is that would probably be their most accessible record, but they have a kind of a, it's not the let's say it's not as accessible as like Brandicald or Forest is in terms of distribution. Ravendark stuff was always a little harder to get in my experience. That might be the reason why.
Yeah, and I'll go ahead, man.
Oh, Berusted of Kriegstrona, I mean, is awesome. That might be like my second or third favorite BBH record, and it's maybe part of the problem is that the best record is the first one for Ravendark, and so it doesn't I've heard a lot of people just like write off the later stuff entirely. There's obviously good stuff there that has ended up on this comp, but like it's I think it's like it's thorny in its own way, right? Because like I think one thing I like about Ravendark is that basically I think like a guy like the Cauldrad's kind of there's a kind of experimental direction that Cauldred drives Brandicald in, and sometimes Forest in, that is like that I think like sometimes just goes too far out there for me. And like, so Raven Dark has this driving, has these sort of clearly defined driving melodies or riffs in a more traditional metal sense, but they still have very strange intervals, really odd shapes and timing. A lot of the things that also make the Branacald stuff distinctive and that are part of like the Blazebirth Hall signature. It's like it's a little bit easier to digest for someone who wants something that's more riffy, but at the same time it's I think but at the same time it's less forgiving because it isn't, you could never confuse it with something atmospheric or dreamy, right? It's not like the Branacald stuff can have a kind of at its most out there can have a kind of like an ambient, like a smooth ambient wash to it. Whereas Raven Dark is always like pretty spiky and angular. You know, you're dealing with some like iron towers and like raven beaks and shit. You know.
Yeah, Raven Dark, I'd say musically can be pretty harsh and inaccessible at times. And I think that could be one of the reasons why it's kind of might be a turn off to people trying to get deeper into them, because from my experience, they were definitely it was not a band that jumped out to me at all at first. And I think I wanted to appreciate them more because I'm like, what am I missing? And so that's I kept revisiting specifically black metal guy. You mentioned his first tape. I can never pronounce that. It's Berusted av Kriegstranet. Is that how you pronounce that? I'm terrible at Russian pronunciation, but that
he did it a lot more.
I think that's actually
a lot better than
Norwegian. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. So that shows you how ignorant I am. But that tape specifically, in '97, which is pretty early on for this. What's the earliest Blazebirth Hall release? You'll know.
Man, is it Branacald? Let's see.
Stormlight 95.
Okay, 95. Okay, that makes
I thought it was before that.
Sense.
Is it? Oh, I guess so. Yeah.
I think I got Stormheart right there.
I did not know that by heart. I just always have all my Metal Archives windows open.
Yeah.
It's a patented Terminus technique. Yeah.
For some reason, I thought that they were active before that. So yeah, that's 95. Yeah, that's about right. You know.
Oh, wait, maybe there's a Rundagore that's earlier.
That would be crazy if Rundagore was the OG.
I have actually heard that Rundagore was pretty. The guy Daggerath was pretty important for developing the guitar sound, kind of in the way that.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
Yeah, kind of in the way that the Thorns guy is. You know, the Thorns guy is for the Norwegian stuff.
He created black metal riffing. Yeah.
And then just disappears.
The first Rundagore is 95 too, so it's probably they were probably just all hanging out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm going to bring up this point, and I think it's valid in the current state of affairs. And you bring this up a lot, is some bands don't get a lot of attention, or no, it's the other way around. Some bands get a lot of attention, or it might be you or our mutual friend on online. But Raven Dark's logo isn't cool. Like, they don't have a cool logo, so it's not like marketable these days. You know what I mean? Like that's a big thing these days. So maybe that's why people don't talk about them. Yeah, I was at a show a few weeks ago, and some girl was wearing a Branacald shirt. You know what I mean? It was like, okay. So
I think that's why
she was in her early
20s.
That's why it was a thing. You know what I mean?
That's why I wanted a Raven Dark shirt specifically, because I was like, I never see anyone with a Raven Dark shirt, so I gotta.
I think the Raven Dark logo is cool, man.
I think it is cool. I think it is too, but it looks almost tribally. You know, I think it looks thorny, and like the Autumn Aurora album. Is that the name of that album?
Yeah, Autumn Aurora.
Yeah. That album cover always it looks like something that would be on Hydra Head to me. I don't know if you guys know that label. It's like post-hardcore. Yeah. But like not with the runes and stuff, but there's different versions of that album. I don't know, but like
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
It doesn't have. The logo doesn't look "quote unquote" Blazebirth Hall.
Exactly.
That's what's cool about it, though.
Yeah. I think it's great. I'm gonna listen to Raven Dark and Rundagore like all weekend because this. Because like,
dude,
I mean,
Rundagore also. If you want not a cool logo, Rundagore. at least if you go by the one that's on Metal Archives, it's just like
Old
it's
English.
just fucking generic. Yeah, like
it's the Burzum style, man.
Basically, yeah.
I think Nitberg's logo, and obviously after Brannick called, I think Nitberg's logo is fucking hard as hell, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I can't argue with that.
But yeah,
yeah, they definitely had some great graphic design skill. And I also wanted to bring up, do you guys know what the hell the Blazebirth Hall symbol is supposed to be? Like the tribal looking, is it like wind? You know what I'm talking about? Like it's like the symbol for Blazebirth Hall. I've always tried to figure out what
I'm retarded.
What is that? Like, is it like supposed to represent wind blowing? I don't know.
I think with a lot of these things, yeah, it's that kind of like it like arcs around the text from either side, right? Mm-hmm. Like a lot of the classic Blazebirth Hall art to me is like the answer. It's just shapes that could look like a lot of things, you know?
Abstract shapes.
Yes, and the shapes suggest, like in the Blazebirth Hall logo, it would be wind, it would be antlers, it would be like a crown, fangs, all these things kind of.
Where are you seeing that logo?
Just look up Blazebirth Hall logo on Google. It'll show up.
Okay. I'll probably...
It's also this.
The death metal guy has a tattoo of it. Yep, there it is.
Oh, that. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that hang on. Let me get back to the other window. Pull that up again or show me that again.
It's like the classic BBH logo.
That almost looks like some it almost looks like a reworking of have you seen like the old Viking like the old Viking woodcuts where it's like not tribal, but like they'll have like a dragon, and it doesn't look like an Asian inspired dragon, but it's like it would be like a dragon on the side of a long ship or something.
Oh yeah,
that's the vibe that I got from it, but it's like in their style. You know what I mean? So like, because it always reminds me of like that Viking. I hate to say it like it's like a Viking dragon. It sounds retarded, but that's what I always thought that was.
Yeah, knotwork.
It's a great symbol. That's what I'm trying to think of. Yeah, the knotwork and stuff. Knotwork with a head on the end, like almost like a totem, you know.
Yeah. So I did like write up some, or like just wrote down some notes about BBH in general that we've already touched on some of it, but I've got like a little bit of a Terminus style. A little bit of a Terminus style, like just take on it that we could get into now via this stuff about the artwork, if you guys want to.
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
Cool. So, yeah, basically, we gotta talk about, like, I can't think of, like, a single scene where the visuals are so vitally connected to the music, right? It's just there's a perfect fusion of the visual and the musical here. I tried to figure out who did the art. Did either of you know, like, the person who did a lot of the classic BBH art is Sigrun, who was, I believe, Kaldrad's wife.
Yes, that's right.
I'm gonna pull a feminism here. I think Sigrun should be credited as a member of the scene. Honestly.
Oh, absolutely.
Because
the aesthetics cannot be taken. If you remove the aesthetics, it's not the same at all.
Yeah, I agree with that. She's important because that artwork is iconic.
Yeah, exactly. And it's intrinsic to Blazebirth Hall.
And I tried to think of a way to put that. It's like the artwork shows you how to listen to the music.
Yes, yeah,
that's a good way to put it.
It shows you what to listen for in this music that is otherwise so difficult to wrap your head around, even for a metal guy.
Yeah, it's obtuse music, 100%. Mm-hmm. There's no, like, fist banging, like, let's drink some beer in a field. Yeah. I can't imagine listening to Ravendark and doing that.
There's not a part that sounds like Bathory's War, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can't imagine Kaldrad taking the stage at Vakken and going, "What's up, Vakken?" And everyone raises their stupid beer meads or whatever.
Kaldrad, "What's up, Vakken?" Throws a Roman. Boom.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I do hope that Der Todun de Landsknecht does Vakken in a couple of years.
They got to, dude. That would be sick.
But yeah, so the art is and you've already used this word a couple times, but like a key thing for Blazebirth is abstraction, right? And if you had to define that, that doesn't just mean like being intellectual or over refined. If anything, I think it means the opposite. Like, so abstraction would be the recognition of essential shape in bodies and movements, distilling things down to their basic forms. And the art does that in this amazing way, and it shows you like a pagan metaphysics, right? Or at least one side of it. This world of interacting forces, just swirling energies that take on a certain shape and then sort of transform into one another, right? You get like yeah. Well, what were you gonna say, Rune?
No, I was agreeing with you. That was a really good way to put it. And to even put a finer point on that, I think that the that kind of swirling sun wheel, I don't want to use the other word, at that is another that's the same, that's a more distilled version of everything you just said. Like, because that's on a lot of their stuff too. Like, it's on the Nitberg stuff. It's in Brainy Called.
Well, look at the Pagan Front logo itself is kind of in the same motif.
Yeah. But like it's definitely, and what you said about it's showing you how to listen to it. That was a really, really good way to put that. I think that's it. So yeah, I would absolutely put that lady, I forget her name, but put her in the scene, in
the circle.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Glad we could agree on that.
Because she also didn't like put herself like. It, like a lot of girlfriends in metal, like they'll put themselves in the band, like they'll like, can I do backing vocals on this? No, it's gonna ruin it. Listen to Maniac Butcher, like don't
no female vocals ever.
Yeah, no keyboards, no female vocals, like. But she was a part of it, you know what I mean? And she probably did a lot more than that, you know what I mean? So
sure. Yeah,
she probably helped with tons of stuff. So
they probably bounced lyrics off her, right? I mean, she clearly understood it on a very deep level.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, I mean, and if you want, like, people obviously all know what we're talking about, but man, that fucking Branacall 1998 that has the fucking I can't remember the title in the English translations of the title, but the 98 release with the Viking longship coming in over the horizon, and its sail billows like the bat-like wings of Odin's ravens coming over the horizon, which gnarl and twist like the limbs of the thorny trees in the foreground, and there's this one wind is running through all of them. Like, that is sick. And there you can see all
absolutely.
of these sort of this transformation, this energy running through all these different bodies that's sort of allowing them the same energy running through all these different bodies and revealing itself in all of them. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's deeply, I'd say it's deeply spiritual music, 100%.
Yeah,
and I think that's what's so cool about Blazebirth Hall as a scene.
It's specifically Odinist. I mean, Odin is like the night wind, basically, is what you could identify him with, like terrible nocturnal wind and storm. And you know, they're all about these, vortices of wind and frost and some thunder in there for Thor. I think Spite Extremewind gets the other side of paganism, that sort of Apolline stability. And clarity, but like, I think the Italians do another side of paganism very well, but this sort of like Odinic northern thing is just, I don't know a band that gets to its essence, or I don't know a scene that gets to its essence more than Blazebirth Hall.
Yeah, that album cover, you're talking about the Kveldolv album, that's like, I don't like.
It's the one. It's extremely long Cyrillic.
It's 98. Oh wait, I think this is Life Betrayal to Life Denial.
Yeah, because Kveldolf has
yeah.
a long ship, and there's like these roaring. But you're talking about the one with the fucking. I get all the titles mixed up, and I have to look at everything because on some releases they're in Russian, and sometimes they're in English.
Okay, it's actually the one that they're one of the Branagh tracks on this on the comp comes from this record.
Okay,
I think.
Is it Av Winter called?
No, it is
Horrid Storms. Maybe?
Horrid Storms. Yes, and it's on the '98 release, which is, I believe, from a life betrayal to a life denial.
Yeah, that album cover fucking rules, man.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, that might be one of the top 3 Blazebirth Hall covers in existence. Honestly,
there's so many good ones. But basically, yeah, I think so. Like, obviously, the cool thing is that, like, you see this in the cover and then you hear it in the music, right? Because you're just, like, listening for certain patterns. So the music, you can hear all these, like, wildly swirling energies of creation and destruction, right? Like, things in motion that nevertheless have a certain shape to them, and then sort of spill over into one another. And that's very cool. I think that I guess for me, I don't think that all of the music hangs together. Like, I'm not that big of a fan of the classic Branagh period. And I would say that I think it's because basically Blazebirth in general and Caldred in particular, right? They're just originators.
Yeah.
They're so they're doing something that's really never been done before. It's like more adventurous than a lot of the other black metal stuff. And they're casting the spear, right? That Spear of Destiny on the Nitberg record. They're casting it very far ahead. And someone
absolutely.
else is right, and they and others are going to have to run and catch up to it. And like, so they're opening up all these possibilities, but it doesn't quite it means that inevitably it's going to be hard. Like, you have to be transgressive and extreme and uncompromising to do that. And it might mean that sometimes you carry the idea so far, it kind of dissolves. So sometimes, to me, some of those Branagh riffs, just like, at first they sound like the turbulent night wind, and then they just get kind of like blown apart on the breeze.
Yeah, they become formless.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can agree with that. Like, there's definitely a sweet spot. Like, I don't like the super early stuff because it just sounds. It's, and this is gonna sound ironic, but like it's hard to listen to because the production quality is bad. And I don't mean that like but it's some of the copies I've had of Stormheit and To Kampf are like they're bootlegs and they're so hard to hear. You know what I mean? You can't really grasp it. And luckily, I think some of those things got reissued. I should probably get some of those reissues, but some of the early stuff is hard to hear. But like, it wasn't until like, I think they're real strong. There's my favorite album from them is Kveldolv and no, it's Blick of Kald. But that's I don't know. I'm trying to find it. Like it's got like different versions and shit. You know the album?
Is that the one that gets translated as Frost Vision? Or
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
I believe
so. Is that the 99?
I think so. I'm looking for it now on Metallum. Like it's all in Cyrillic. I used to date a girl that was from Bulgaria, and like she would just be like, she would translate this shit for me, and I was like, okay, thank you. That's a lot cooler than like square BA35, you know, like I can't fucking read that shit. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's always embarrassing to talk about like Cyrillic language on here, and then people message me, "You got it all wrong." It's like, dude, I don't speak Russian. Sorry.
Yeah.
What do you want from me?
It's okay. It says voice of Frost. Yeah. Yeah, so that one, it's like the Blue Void album. Yeah, it's 99. That I really fucking like that album. So like that album and the ones before it like are phenomenal. Like, and then starting with maybe Kveldol, like those 3 or 4 albums through there is like that's peak for me. It's unbelievable music. Because I'm with you. They kind of lost me, and I have this album and it's good, but the I've got to look up it's the last full length before the Hammerkrieg. So like you know what I'm talking about? It's got like a
I haven't heard it. I heard it's like back to more RAC stuff. I was doing a little research today.
I've got to be in the mood for it. I've got some friends that totally rep it, and sometimes I'll wonder if it's just because it's branded called, but I don't know, man. I think that it kind of run its course at that point, and you like there's only so much you can do even as an innovator. You know what I mean?
Right,
like
exactly.
At a certain point, a man's spirit can only put so much into one endeavor. You know what I mean? Like, and it was done so purely and so absolutely with earlier Brannicall. Like, I'm not mad at those later ones, and and that doesn't mean that's all of his creative energy, because obviously he was in other stuff. But I think there was a spot, like you said, there was that tip of the spear, like, and he was the sharpened edge on it, and then it got dull after a while, and it happens to everybody, and no matter what you're doing, music, work, anything. So you can't just put out perfect. No one has a perfect discography. I can appreciate it all, though. You know,
well,
there was never anything that was trash.
Well, and yeah, these guys more than others were like taking risks, basically.
Yeah.
You know, in all sorts
Especially
of ways,
think about they were doing this in Russia in the 90s, early 2000s, when this was, let alone like inaccessible music worldwide. Specifically, let's think about Russia for the context of like their scene specifically. To say that they were trailblazers, to use a term, to use a pun, was I don't think can be totally emphasized enough, because for the effect that they've had on the global black metal scene and the Russian scene specifically, it's crazy that this small group of guys has had such a significant impact. I would say to go on to influence possibly thousands of releases in the 20 years since they've released all this stuff. I just think it's extremely impressive for just the group of six or eight guys in Russia in the late 90s. I don't know. And the fact that we're able to talk about their music for close to 2 hours and go this deep with kind of the ideals and the spirit of what they're trying to convey, I think is absolutely a testament to not only Kaldrad's genius, but just the overall scene. I think is very important to black metal in general.
Yeah, for sure. Are we trying to wrap it up here, or are we going to keep rolling?
Nah, man.
We can keep going.
We can if you want. If you want to pivot, like, so I always do this, and but what have you been listening to lately, man?
What have I been listening to lately? Let me see. In terms of
anything, like,
I mean, okay, some Laskovic Asgard Mysteries compilation, for sure. I was listening to that a little bit in preparation for this. I think I was listening to that before we talked about doing this episode. But I was just traveling in Iceland, so I was listening to some stuff that went with that. So definitely that Laskovic record.
Which one was it?
It's the compilation. It's
okay.
Asgard Mysteries, but it's it's specifically the releases on, like, the material on the second half is better, I think.
Okay.
It's the it's really the Gunshots Ring Out Over Vinland Streets record. That's
a cool title.
Yeah, one of the hardest titles of all time.
Absolutely.
And the bonus tracks after that on this comp are also very good.
I need to revisit that, because I've only heard the first couple things he did, and it's been a while. And I'm glad you said the name, because I do not know how to pronounce that. I assume it's Polish, right?
It's gotta be, yeah. So I'm probably saying it wrong, right? It's like,
well, it's closer than what I would say. I can't fucking say it right.
With Polish, it's like you're not supposed to pronounce the syllables.
Right.
Yeah,
I got a lot of Polish friends, and they're like, correct me on shit. Is like, oh, I was in Poland saying shit wrong, and people were laughing at me, and I was like, that's right, man. Thanks, America.
I was talking about this with my buddy. You get the Poles really got screwed by whoever turned their language into the Roman alphabet, because it's just none of the spellings make any sense.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. Let's see. I was listening to a lot of Thangorodrim for some soothing dungeon synth atmospheres. I'm trying to think what else about what else on my travel playlist. Obviously, some Veymod, some Tau Cross, Tau Cross being Rob's band after Amebix.
Oh yeah. I was just talking about Amebix a couple episodes ago. I
still need to watch that documentary.
You just dropped something. It broke. Did, yeah. You're mad. No, I've loved those guys for so long, and like I put them away for a while, and I went through a huge like renaissance with Amebix, and God, that band never gets fucking old. And we were talking about the documentary on this. Well, I was talking about the documentary, the one that was kind of fan made. I forget what it's called, but it's really good, man, and it kind of gives you a really deep dive into like what they were doing and made them completely unique to anybody else that was doing that at the time. And they're kind of a polarizing band for like musical reasons. Like they were too metal to be hardcore or punk, and but they weren't metal enough. But then you see the live footage of them like early on, it's like that is fucking incredible. Like this is better than Venom. And it some of it sounds the same, but like it's that same thing as like when I got introduced to Amebix, it was I was a young teenager, and this guy asked me what I was into, and I was like, I'm listening to Venom, and he's like, you should fucking listen to Amebix and turn that Venom shit off. And I thought that was such a hard ass take, and I did, and goddamn, he was right, man. I was like, this is fucking killer. Like it's so goddamn good.
Yeah, that is a great take, because
in a lot of ways,
to agree.
In a lot of ways, Amebix is very comparable to Blazebirth Hall in terms of just stuff that is like out so far ahead of their contemporaries.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Done without a concern about limited technical ability, it's all
self-admittedly too. Yeah, it was all spirit. It was all spirit.
And I do like all Amebix is to my taste. I love all Amebix. However, I can very easily see how somebody could be like, look, man, I really can't do it with like the stuff on Arise, or whatever, right? I can see how somebody would think that not the Amebix isn't all equally as good, right?
I've been No, go ahead.
In fact, there were people on the Terminus Discord yesterday claiming that Tau Cross is that they prefer that version of the sound to the Amebix sound.
I haven't heard that stuff. Is it good?
It's just imagine like if you took the spiritual core of Amebix and a lot of the melodic sensibilities and combined it with something like fucking Nirvana. And like obviously that sounds, as in it just has very punchy rock choruses. It's much more like normal music than Amebix, but it's very. I think what everyone can agree is it's very good for driving and lifting. I
like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I don't like it as much as Amebix, but it has the lyrical substance is the same. You'll hear Rob taking a number of pot shots at a group that he refers to as they in the lyrics. It's pretty high energy stuff, but
I'm seeing on their Metallum that Relapse Records destroyed all copies of the.
Did you not? Did it? Yeah,
I didn't know that. No.
No, they got canceled.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I mean, Amoebics is one of those bands that never sat. If you just listen to what all of their songs are about, which is like, look at all their imagery, which is like pagan, barbarian, warrior. They were always a little bit out of place on the crust scene, and I think
I've always kind of got that vibe from them.
Yeah, so, I mean, Rob was really the sort of, I guess he was the Cauldred of Amoebics, and his brother was very important. Like, the other members were important. His brother was a great guitarist, but, like, basically, Rob followed some of those initial ideas to their logical conclusion, and ended up really exiting the punk sphere in terms of his worldview, and it brought him into conflict with the rest of his band and with the guys in Tau Cross and whatever. And then Relapse burned his records.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's
I had
lame.
for some reason I missed all that controversy. It's hilarious.
Yeah, they got canceled pretty hard. It was dumb, dude. And then they didn't cancel fucking Jism because capitalism, and Jism more openly said bad things about the tiny hats than fucking
far more overtly, yes.
But they're Japanese, so I guess they get away with it.
Yeah.
But then I just gotta say that Tau Cross is such a hard ass fucking name, man. That's a hard name for a band. I love that, dude. It sounds like a fucking punch in the mouth. It sounds like a great name for like an RAC band or something.
Okay, this is a better way to sell it to you. It sounds like RAC.
I'm there. I already put it on my to listen to. I'm gonna listen to that after I listen to fucking Run to Gore and Forest, or what do you call it? Raven Dark.
Yeah, I don't think he ever listened to RAC, but he sort of found his way to a similar place. Musically.
Oh yeah. So, what have you been listening to, Mr. Based?
Have y'all are you familiar with that band Heritage that Youth Attack put out last year?
Yeah.
I think I might have mentioned it here, but it's basically like the dudes from Youth Attack doing Screwdriver, essentially.
Yeah.
It's very good. I've been trying to track down a copy of the vinyl for a little bit, but yeah, the album's called Blood and Tears. It's really good. Yeah, I just think like I don't know, kind of like mid-era Screwdriver in terms of sonically, not thematically. But it's really good. Those guys have a knack. I think it's the dude from I can't remember. Is it the guy from Charles Bronson? Isn't it? It's one. I think so. Yeah. It's one of the dudes. Yeah, one of the dudes from Youth Attack is the main guy in it. But that record was so killer. I was pissed I missed the first pressing of it.
A couple of people recommended me that, and from their personal tastes, I was expecting something different, even though they warned me. And then I was like, I listened to it, and I was like, this is not for me. But then I kind of changed my perspective on it and listened to it in a different atmosphere. Like, I think it was driving, and it is really good. It's a grower, which is fucking usually a good sign with me if I hate something, but it's objectively good. Subjectively, whichever. Yeah, anyway, like then I'll usually come around to it, and that was one of them. I'm not crazy about it to the point where I bought it, but I do have it on my fucking iTunes or whatever.
One of my questions about, well, maybe you guys can answer this actually. This is a good forum for it. It's like, so the Youth Attack guys have obviously always flirted with basically, fascist aesthetics, whether it's from like RAC or like underground black metal or whatever. Like, to what degree are they like? Some of those bands seem more unironic than others. Like, to what degree is to what degree is the Heritage thing like a put on, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's in the same way that like Akitsa would be considered. Obviously, they have certain associations, I'd say, that aren't like necessarily like. I guess in the past they might have been avert. I'm talking about Akitsa, not Youth Attack.
Yeah.
But obviously they've always had those accusations thrown at them. Youth Attack I've always viewed in the same way. They've never. out and out been blatant about portraying a specific scene or ideology or whatever, but they definitely don't. They like to flirt with certain imagery, certain quote unquote dangerous bands. I think then that's always been part of their appeal. I think in the underground to
yeah, for sure. I guess I'm thinking about the way that like you see like certain hardcore bands trying to sanitize that image.
Yeah, the whole
right?
skinhead.
You know?
Yeah, we're skins, but we can open a hardcore fest. Yeah, I don't know.
Exactly. So I mean, Youth Attack I know have been doing it way longer.
Youth Attack is way cooler than that
yes,
shit.
I agree about that. Yeah. But yeah,
I get what you're. Yeah, I know what you're inferring and what you're getting at. To be honest, I don't know. That's not really necessarily my scene. I'm a fan of a lot of those bands, but I'm not intimately familiar with the whole inner workings of that, because I know there's a whole the Youth Attack has its own dramatic subculture associated with it. So
it's again the fandom, but there's definitely some good stuff there. You know.
Yeah, and also, I mean, one thing you could say also is just like past a certain point, like when you're evaluating art, like intent doesn't really matter. It's just like the thing that they put out, and if they're putting out like really hard skinhead records, like that's cool. It's
absolutely. And I had not paid attention to Youth Attack in several years, and then it was kind of I didn't even realize Youth Attack had put it out until, because I had listened to it a couple times, and I was like, oh shit, they put it, and then I was like scrambled to their website, and of course it was long sold out, but it was really good, and it's a record I keep revisiting because it's one of those records that I forget about, and then every couple like months I'll like revisit it, but oh yeah, that was really good, and then I try to track down a copy, and it's like $150 in Discogs. I'm like, fuck.
Ugh.
Hate that. But no, that's Blood and Tears. That's a great record. Came out last year. I'm trying to think of what else I've been listening to. Let's see.
When someone asks me something like that, especially like in a context like this, I'm always like, shit, what do I listen to?
Right, yeah.
It's like I go into the record store and forget what bands I like.
Oh, dude, now you're talking my language. I literally have to go in there with like a list of like, what bands am I looking for?
I guess I like Emperor. I like
your mind just goes completely blank.
Yeah.
Tim Noser. I've been listening to Tim Noser a lot, and then that new Tim Noser adjacent project that I always forget the name of. It has a field on the. It's not. Fuck. Well, Woods of Fallen. Woods of Fallen.
Oh,
but
yeah.
It's not Woods of Fallen. It's another like adjacent Tim Noser project, and I'm totally blanking on the name. But it's the cover is like I think Terminus actually reviewed it when it came out.
Yeah, the recent Temnozor record, or no, the one that's like Temnozor.
It has like that metalcore breakdown. Yeah.
But it's basically Temnozor under a different name, right?
Yeah. So
I can find this.
Yeah. There's a part on that record that has a straight up metalcore breakdown, and it goes like dun 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 dun, and it has the keyboard strings over it. It's incredible. It's so good.
Oh wait, it's a Gromoverge.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm glad you like that one, man. Yeah.
Oh, dude, I fucking love that record. I was mowing my lawn the other day while listening to that, and the metalcore breakdown part, I had to rewind it to make sure that I heard it. I heard it correctly, because it literally goes. It's like dun 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 dun, and out of context, like so. It just kind of comes out of nowhere, and it's a very long record. So for it to just like hit you in the middle of this like 7-minute long song, I was like, oh shit! I was not expecting String Scald to break it down like that. But no, it's that record.
So should I feel bad because I never got into them because they have a fucking flute player.
Dude, flute goes hard. Nothing's harder than flute.
But I'll also say that it was probably 25 years ago when I decided I did not like that band.
No, dude, Tim Noser. I love Tim Noser. Speaking of Blazebirth Hall, obviously they're not in the Blazebirth Hall scene, but associated, kind of. They're an orbiter band, I'll say, to Blazebirth Hall.
Yeah, it's I don't know. They're I don't know. Like I've got some friends that are just like you are missing out by not listening to them. And then isn't there like another band called Timnohor? It's like very closely spelled, but it's not
There's
the same
two
word.
Temnazors, yeah.
Okay.
Or three, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, Caldrad was in Timnozer, so it's like it's got to be good. I mean, and they use that knotwork in with the wolves and stuff in the logo, and very similar. So I'll give it a shot, man. I need to broaden my horizons to other things that are based besides just those that are outwardly based.
You know,
but
I
the flute threw me off, man.
Dude, speaking like good flute, fucking the early Crota stuff. That's some hard flute.
Yeah, I need to revisit Crota. It's been I think Rune might agree. I've always thought of Crota as Styro. Could
you define Styro for me? That's a word you guys use on the show. I want the based Hooligan lore.
Yeah.
Rune, you can kind of tee it off.
So Styro is a term that a couple friend of mine's kind of invented. And back in the day, before the internet and when everybody was trading, and there was a lot more packages going around the world because like postage wasn't that bad, and so you would send someone a package in anywhere, and you would send them tons of flyers. You would get free zines, and like there were just people that would just make fucking zines that weren't that great, but they were free. So they were just like, I'm gonna and people would send them their shit to get reviewed. So you may have 2 or 3 interviews and then like 30 pages of reviews. So that you would just like stuff packs with it, and then like someone may have sent you a promo of some band or a free copy of something, and it's just like shit you just didn't want sitting around. Because it's not that's kind of how Styro started. It was to literally pad the package.
Yeah.
To like send you like, hey, I'm gonna send you this cool stuff, but you may like this too, or I think this fucking sucks, but you may like it, but I feel bad throwing it away because someone worked hard on it.
Oh, so it's like styrofoam.
Yeah, it's like packing.
Styrofoam.
It's like packing filler.
So it's like So styrofoam itself is it's filler. It's just a filler. It's packed. So Styro music, I guess the easiest way to say it is like it's musical filler. It
has no hype at all.
There's no hype because there is nothing to hype out. It is like black metal Styro, which there is an exorbitant amount of.
Yeah. Well, sure.
It is fast guitars with screeching vocals and fast drums. I could pick up my guitar right now, use a drum machine, and I could make a 3-album or a 3-record set of a Styro album, and none of it would be memorable. But
well, it's things in the Dark Funeral vein.
Yes,
right?
Exactly. Very Styro. Very Styro.
Marduk or Panzer Division Marduk.
Styro. But
I will defend Panzer Division Marduk to the death.
I like that record. I like that record.
No,
but yes, but you could do something like that, and it's
right.
Styro,
that is their Styro album. That is their Styro. Like but like those bands that you no. I mean that's very Styro coded. Like people like it. They get something.
There's a lot of layers to this term.
Yeah, it's very deep. It's not a throwaway term. It's very deep. Me and my friends have been perfecting it for years. I'm glad it is now public because we say it daily. But
okay, I mean like these days it would be like one of those records with like a it would be one of like I mean in like the early 2020 through 2025 it was those records with the fucking the color, the black but the colors on them and the borders, and there were vampires and shit.
Yeah, that's Styro.
Yeah.
Anything that Dark Descent puts out is Styro. Like there are Styro labels. Most of what Hell's Headbangers.
I was about to say Styro. Most of HHR. Yeah,
most of that is Styro.
Well, just so like there's a ton of just completely disposable goat metal.
It's exactly. It's just disposable Styro. Now to peel that layer of the
There's
onion
good
back.
Styro.
There is good Styro, and one man's Styro is another man's like it's all right. I'll throw this on. You know what I mean? Like, it's not something, but I've got some people that will fucking ride or die for some straight up styro, like Z-list fucking South American NS styro. Like, man, I know some guys that fucking love that shit because it like what's that band with like a gazillion fucking releases? That's like, man, there's
Raven Dark's Monarchical Chronicle.
No.
That's an amazing band name.
That's good. Yeah. No, there's some band that was on that. What's that autistic label? Winter Solstice.
Winter Solace, yeah.
Winter Solace, yeah. He puts out their stuff. Like, there's some band that he works with. They've got tons of shit. I think they're Russian. And oh my god, and it's all styro, but people like it because it's got swastika on it, and like that's styro. But somebody gets something out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there are specific bands that I like specifically because they are kind of filler or bad, and I can appreciate that. Where it's like, okay, this is just run of the mill black metal that he probably wrote in an afternoon, and I can appreciate that. And there's something cool.
Sometimes you just want something that basically does.
It scratches
does
that itch.
What it says on the tin.
Yeah. I don't always need Blazebirth Hall, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
I can listen to some crazy South American NS styro and be absolutely entertained for 20 minutes, and then completely forget about it 10 minutes later.
But yeah, that's the stuff. So so you had us define styro. Where were we before that?
Oh, I was just saying that Crota's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was asking Rune, is Crota styro? Yes or no?
Yes.
I'm not really familiar with them.
It's okay. What I would say is it's definitely also ran compared to like the
it's Ukrainian, so it's
compared to the what's the name of this compared to like the Roman Sanko and
like Hate Forest, Druk.
Yeah, Thurios scene. Yeah,
okay.
Kharkov.
Okay,
I'm looking for the name of the city. The guys in Kharkov, right?
Yeah.
Sanko and Thurios and them, right? That is obviously the core Ukrainian scene.
Yeah.
Crota is a little. I think he's in a different city from them, and they've played together, but it's never quite been the same thing. So it's definitely not as good as. Yeah, it's not as good or unique as the classic Ukrainian stuff, but it is after a similar feeling, I would say, and it actually has more in common with Blazebirth Hall musically. And I think he actually did a BBH, he did a Forest or Branacald cover.
Oh wow.
And the guitars are more it's one of those things I like more and more as I get older, really.
That's probably styro, but you find value in it, so it's good. Like I haven't heard it. I'm just not familiar with it. I know the name, I've seen it, but
Fimbulvinter is a good record.
Fimbulvinter is quite good. And it has moments. Fimbulvinter also has Fimbulvinter has moments where he carries things so far it just gets like all of the Crota stuff has moments where he carries things so far it just gets a little bit like tasteless, like it falls apart, right? You know,
because all the songs are almost over 10 minutes long. There's one song that's
really long
Jesus
songs.
Christ, yeah.
And he has a bit of a prog streak, which means he can end up like fucking doing like guitar noodly bullshit.
Ooh.
It also has very cool, long, sprawling Slavic black metal riffs, more played on single string often. I think he's a death metal guy at heart. Like, so he's kind of playing these as single string melodies and things like that. And it also has like some very hard flute.
Like I can get behind some flute, like on
flute
like
nationalism.
Nationalism.
I'm a flute nationalist for sure.
Fuck yeah. I just my buddy at the time was like, I'm not going to listen to this because they have a flute player and that's called a flautist. And I said, well, we just shut the book on that fucking case, man. Let's just move on to the next thing. Because we had it in our distro and we were like, yeah, flautist, man. I can't do that. But I was a much more hateful and I had no like like, man, I was discerning to say the least. I was cutthroat, like, fuck that, it needs to die away from me. But I'll give it a shot, because some legit people have like, you are missing out, and usually that's the case, because I'm talk about fandom, like I'm my own worst enemy with some stuff. So
yeah, we all are. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, there's bands I've ignored simply because they had an annoying name to me.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Cover art too. I mean, like,
yeah, absolutely.
And this links it back to the Blazebirth Hall thing. It's just like, I think cover art has the more I've done Terminus and the older I've gotten, the more I think like cover art is way more important than people give it credit for.
Oh yeah,
and
man.
like it might be especially important now because what you see is always a thumbnail.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Whereas, like, maybe back in the day, maybe you read a fanzine review or you find the record on the shelf, and the cover is like very minimal, but the record looks cool or whatever, you know. But yeah,
I think art should be a total package. Like, if you can get away with it sometimes, like to have something really stoic and simple, but as time goes on, like it's getting harder and harder to do that because people's attention spans are just like getting worse and worse. Like, I don't like this band, but Gorgoroth's Antichrist and Pentagram too, I think it has a pretty simple, like, that was so simple, but at the time, when you listen to it, it made sense. You know what I mean? And it fit. So, but these days, if somebody came out, and God, so many bands have done, you know, Styro versions of that. Like, it's got to grab you. Like, dude, if you're gonna put your power into something, your creativity into something, like, do it with the art too, man. Like, I mean, don't let it be shitty. It does not need to be an afterthought, because to me, that's the whole reason we like physical media, you know, not because like it looks cool on Instagram, because it is a complete thought. Getting death metal albums, like when I got like Deicide's Legion, when that came out, that was fucking crazy. Like, the cover was, it's kind of whatever now, you know, but it was weird. It was mysterious.
The Trifixion, it almost looks like
the
Howl
Trifixion,
from 2001.
yeah, exactly, man. It's like, that's fucking dark. And like, and even more, okay, so beyond that, the CD version of Amon, Feasting the Beast, same band, that's fucking crazy cool artwork. Like, it's like clip art of a priest or whatever, but it's killer. And then just to go back to childhood stuff, like the early Cannibal Corpse albums with Chris Barnes, like Butchered at Birth, Tomb of the Mutilated, that's fucking amazing. Like, those are hand painted pieces, and like that is part of the whole. It's the same thing with we were talking about with Blazebirth Hall. It puts you in the mindset of like, this is what to expect. You know, so I would just hold those albums and look at that art. It's so fucking extreme. Now it's just like everybody's got blood, gore, bone butt, fucking whatever retarded shit.
Yeah, it's
but
so
like
passe now.
But it's like, back then someone painted that, and like Vincent Locke painted.
Vince Locke.
Yeah, one of the best, dude, ever. And
he kind of got worse as the years went on. Have you noticed that?
Of course he did. Yeah, of course. Just like, you know,
he became less talented. It's really unfortunate because I love Dead World. Like, I have a stack of like 40 Dead Worlds, like literally right next to me. One of my favorite comic series.
He got
ever.
older, so.
And he got his sensibilities kind of became lame.
Yeah, I mean, it happens, dude. But you got to look back to where he came from. Like, what he did do was very influential. I mean, that artwork was very influential to me. But that's very important to albums. You know what I mean? Like, the first Black Sabbath album, arguably the first heavy metal album. That I have a fucking 6-foot square flag next to me in my studio right here. That is perfect album artwork. You know what I mean? It's just certain albums have it, and if you're not going to take the time, then there's like so, and like especially if there's some lore in something, like people are still talking about the fucking lady that's on the cover of the first Black Sabbath album. Like, who was that lady that was a witch? Was it just some woman? Is that one of their girlfriends? You know what I mean? Like put some thought into it, man. Don't just have some boring ass shit. Yeah. Yeah.
It was the AI Ozzy that Sharon conjured from beyond the grave.
Yeah. AI Ozzy.
Yeah,
and
can't
she
wait.
foresaw,
Can't wait for that. By the way, that's got to keep the gravy train rolling.
With her tiny hat, fucking mystical magic, she foresaw the rising of transsexuals through the Jewish Zogverse, and said we're going to make this shit backwards compatible with the first Black Sabbath album. It's a tranny. Ozzy was a tranny, and they'll send her on tour.
Dude, the reverb you just got on that was crazy.
Yeah, the Ozzy, when he died, he said, one day my spirit will rise up from the grave, and you'll know that I was right. And they'll input the AI Ozzy into ChatGPT. No, but
bad.
What I was gonna say is people always make fun of prog bands they'll rack their brains and spend like 2 years coming up with the perfect 25-minute long like epic opus to close out their album, and then they'll spend about 5 seconds on the album art. And then get completely just like no one picks it up because it'll be like a light bulb or some stupid bullshit like that. It's like, what is this even supposed to be?
Yeah.
Like, look at like Fate's Warnings later albums. We'll talk about awful album art. God damn.
Dude, Night on Brocken is not that great of a cover, but like, man, it's fucking better than the later shit. It's better than No Exit.
Can we just ban digital art in general?
Man, we should.
Like, I feel like I have seen examples of good digital art. I have seen it does exist. However, in general, just a terrible fucking idea. And a lot of these older bands, when they do a reissue, like Diamond had reissued their classic,
with
and
like
they
AI
reissued
art, right?
it with this shitty, like, it was just before AI, but it was just like they probably just got like a random guy on Fiverr to do like a spooky skeleton man.
That's so for Lightning to the Nations.
Yeah, for Lightning to the Nations.
Man, that's like one of my top 5 favorite albums of all time.
That's a great pick, man. It's a perfect record.
And like my cover is just white with like the signatures or whatever, like the fake signatures, or like, and then I have the other version where it's like the diamond with their perfect, amazing logo, which I'm eventually gonna make bootleg shirts of the Diamond Head logo and the fucking Tormentor logo, because I fucking love those bands. And I try not to wear too many metal shirts, but I would wear a Diamond Head and I would wear a fucking Tormentor because I fucking love those bands, dude. And those bands don't get enough respect. And like, I'm sure someone bootlegs it, but the Diamond Head, like the original, man, that's fucking lame. It's got a
I just looked up the new one. Wow, that's terrible. But I could tell it came right before the advent of AI, because those guys absolutely, if they were doing that in 2019, they absolutely would have fucking just sprang for an AI album cover now.
It's just like, I mean, another Blazebirth Hall message is it doesn't have to be fancy. I mean, like, I think that before Sigrun was doing the art, I read that maybe Ulf was doing some of it. They've always had their signature look going back to the beginning, and some of it is just like very simple black and white sort of hand tray stuff. Like fucking
the cover of Stormhide, like it's very minimalist.
Yeah,
but
dude,
it's so good.
Dude, the cover of Graveland's Carpathian Wolves. Like,
literally,
that's some kid one of them literally just drew that in his notebook while his teacher was yelling at him.
It's perfect.
Right?
That's one of my favorite albums of all time. Yeah. That's my favorite Graveland by far.
Oh, that's a good choice. Yeah.
It's so fucking... It's so fucking... Like, it borders cheesy, but it's perfect. If you fucking sit there, it's amazing.
You know what it looks like? It looks like when you were in art class and they would give you those graphite pencils.
Yeah.
It's exactly that.
Yeah, it's total pencil. Like they got some typing paper from the teacher, so it didn't have the lines in the background. You know, and they just drew that shit.
Drawn with pure hatred.
Yes. Like, you can tell the marks, like the paper's all indented and shit. There's some parts off that aren't on the cover where he erased it because he had redrawn it and was angry about it. Because we've all done that in school.
Look, the guy is about to go Super Saiyan. Like, that just is a Dragon Ball Z edgy OC.
Do you think? Okay, so let's say Darken reissue. Oh wait, it was reissued. Oh, well, good with the original cover art.
But yeah, like the amoebic stuff, Rob hand drew. He's a talented artist, but like it was very simple. like severe black outline stuff. But you don't even have to be able to draw. Like, just like get a fucking JPEG of your like favorite Bronze Age weapons, print it out.
There you go.
Copy, you know, like cut out your favorite Bronze Age weapons and then, you know, or like put them in Photoshop and collage them together. There you go. You could add a few of your favorite verboten runes. You make the cover black or camo. Look, you have an album cover. And guaranteed it's going to be better than like some like digital art bullshit or commissioning some sort of like slop artist who doesn't care about you to do some
some slop Instagram artist.
Yeah. Back in the days when Pit Magazine was still around, in the very early days when they were covering like Graveland and other bands like that, like digital art had just started and it looked like shit, and it was like
that early
mid-90s.
Photoshop.
Yeah, and like they had this guy, I think his name was CV Bell, maybe, I forget the name, but on the back cover or the inside back cover, it was almost like Mad Magazine. It was always there. Like they always had a new piece by CV Bell, but it was just like a psychedelic ball with spikes on it.
Mm-hmm.
And even back then, it was cool when this band Front 242 did it.
It's remember the Iron Maiden record with that really shitty art style?
No, which one was that?
Was it called The Dance of the Dead or something?
Oh God!
Look it up. It's the Dance of Death, I think.
Dude, I'm not crazy about a lot of the Maiden art.
Obviously the classic stuff is just iconic, but it's kind of, it goes without saying, it's some of the best, in my opinion, some of the best heavy metal album art ever. But I think after Fear of the Dark, they just completely lost the plot and just really, really questionable choices since then.
Fear of the Dark is a sick cover. That's very cool. And like Killers and the first two have great covers.
I love Power Slave. That's one of my favorites.
I gotta tell you that, like, a thing for me is, like, it took me forever to get into Iron Maiden because, like, I was just like, who the fuck is that skeleton guy? Who's that gross skeleton guy? Why is he always in my face with these, like, bright colors and shit?
Eddie annoyed you?
And, like, yeah, like, it just, like, if somebody had told me, I don't think Eddie fits the music. It arguably fit the music for the first two records back when stuff. for Iron Maiden and Killers, like back then I guess the music they were making like was pretty like grotesque and twisted and fucked up relative to the early 80s. But like if somebody had told me when I was in middle school I saw kids in Iron Maiden shirts, right? And I was just like, who the fuck is that skeleton guy? What an idiot. Like if somebody had told me that Iron Maiden was this band about like ancient history and like military history, the ancient world, epic tales and adventures, like noble heroism, I would have been like all over that shit, man. I would have been like, this is exactly, I'm 12, this is what I need to be listening to, you know?
Yeah, I never got into Maiden, man. They've got some good stuff, like, but I to your point about Eddie, like you got to consider when that was coming out, like, and they actually may have been one of the biggest bands doing that influenced more, like, so Iron Maiden had Eddie, and then Megadeth had Vic Rattlehead, and then Sodom was theirs like the Butcher guy, was he
that's
on a
Destruction.
Destruction, that's right. But I'm thinking of the cover of
Motorhead had the Warpig Snaggletooth.
Yeah.
So I think it was more that it was, and I hate this word, but it was like a kind of branding, like it was because I mean it sold merch, man. Like,
I get that.
But it's also, back then you could go to a metal show and it was huge. It was an event.
Oh yeah,
and
it was like a stadium.
Eddie walking around, like, Jesus Christ, man.
You know who had the worst logo is Anthrax, that stupid guy symbol.
Fuck
You know
Anthrax,
what I'm talking about?
man.
It looks like
you know what he's you know what his name is?
No.
It's the worst. The the Atman.
That's awful. Yeah,
it's fucking terrible.
I don't think I've ever met a human being who likes Anthrax.
I
agree
have. They're
about
fucking
that.
bad people, man. You're a bad person if you like Anthrax.
I've met
you-
alleged human beings who like Anthrax.
You like fun. Fun is fucking dumb, dude. Don't. Ugh.
Yeah, we're anti-fun here.
No, this is cool.
Yeah.
Like people say like the big four, like Anthrax. Dude, no,
I think
Anthrax.
They were the
Anthrax
obligatory West or East Coast band that had to be added to the Big Four for whatever reason. They're like,
Yeah,
okay,
dude.
fine, Anthrax.
Yeah, they were the forever, always the opener, never the headliner.
Nope.
like they got a new album coming out, and they're gonna be opening for somebody terrible. Like,
Oh yeah,
Hand
we
of
could,
God
dude.
or
I could
something,
bash
probably.
Anthrax for hours.
It's
I
so
think
fucking bad.
I
man.
accidentally saw them once. I'll say that it was.
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, bad.
I saw them. I just saw the movie. I think I went up and pissed and got more popcorn or something when there was like when they had this Big Four reunion movie it was like an event. It like live streamed in theaters, and it was like a reunion thing. Maybe I don't know. It feels like 10 years ago. It was maybe like closer to 20, but it was in Sofia, Bulgaria, and all the bands played with like the original lineups, and so like it was cool, you know. I mean, none of those bands are cool anymore, but that was cool. But like that was the only time. That was the closest I've ever seen. The longest I've had to sit through Anthrax, and like it's just they're such a bad band. Scott Ian is insufferable, man.
What was that movie called? You were gonna watch the migrant killer movie.
Citizen Vigilante.
Citizen
Vigilante.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see that Saturday.
Yeah, I saw it's Army Hammer's in it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That guy got
it's gonna be good.
utterly annihilated a
He
few
got
years ago.
Yeah, he's like, hey, so it makes me horny to think about eating you. What do you think about that? Like, I mean, physically eating you, not your vagina, but your flesh. That's like the gist of his cancellation.
But wait,
Okay,
I'm reading the description of this fucking movie real quick.
It sounds crazy, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be great, dude. I love going to the movies, and they've sucked since 2004.
Wait, did they actually put this in theaters?
Yeah, it comes out Friday. It comes out on fucking Juneteenth, dude.
Oh my god, we all have to go.
Yeah, I'm totally going Saturday. I'm gonna watch the Australia versus U.S. Game with my mom on Friday because my patriotism. But Saturday, I don't have anything planned except for like learning this new equipment and watching that movie. Like, I want to go see it Friday, but like, man, I'm gonna go early in the morning, so hopefully no one's there. But it's already getting panned as like anti-immigrant.
Yeah,
Dude,
awesome.
making your stage name into Armand Hammer is so fucking funny.
Yeah.
I know, that's awesome. I guess his grandfather.
Oh, that's his real name.
That's his real name, dude.
Just
Army
parents
Hammer.
with a sense of humor.
ARMI.
He has a very interesting family history. If you look up his lineage, they're very.
He's a yes.
Very interesting. Yeah.
Okay, so are we so back?
We're so.
Yeah,
back.
we can go back. Yeah.
All right, cool.
We can talk about we can talk.
Yeah.
So go watch Citizen Vigilante. That's our official Hooligan movie plug for the week.
Yeah, so it comes out on Juneteenth on a Friday.
And it's directed by Uwe Boll. And I was talking about this earlier. I fuck with Uwe Boll because all the annoying quote film nerds hate him and despise him, and I actually kind of like some of his movies. Postal was actually pretty good, underrated. I like those Rampage movies; those are awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it's goofy shit. I mean, this may be the same way, but I had to look it up because I saw his name, and I thought it was Uwe Boll. I thought he was like some African fella, but no, he's from Germany. But Citizen Vigilante. It's I want to go into it like cold. Like my friend who has really good taste was like, you should see this movie. It's not gonna be like a cinematic masterpiece by any means, but like he told me the premise, and then he said it's supposedly really anti-immigrant. So I'm like, fucking sold. So like now I got something to do this weekend. So I think it's gonna be good. Yeah, Based Hooligan approved already. So
it says the film was denied an age certification in Germany. If that tells you anything.
Fuck yes. Yes. It's
called
banned. It's already canceled.
A reviewer has described the film as furious anti-immigration propaganda.
Oh, speaking my language, man. I love it. That's how we win wars. But yeah, it should be good, man. Like I hope so. If it sucks, it'll still be refreshing to not.
Well, that's
have,
the thing.
Like,
if that's the thing,
opposite.
like you can say what we can all say, like, oh, sure, we can all say that, like, the highest goal of art is not to make shameless propaganda, but, like, if the biggest fucking Hollywood studios can release one battle after another and then pat themselves on the back, which reads like fucking, I mean, I obviously didn't go see it, but just read the description. It's like fucking deranged. It's like, it's sort of like
it's communist propaganda.
It's a combination between like Tumblr and it's kind of this like deranged revenge fantasy. Basically.
It's someone who gets their worldview from like the Huffington Post in 2025,
and Tumblr,
which is insane.
It's like fan fiction, basically.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. He took the words out of my mouth. It's like communist fan fiction, but very light, but like soft core.
Right.
You know
so
what I mean?
if you can make that, then if you're gonna force that on us, sorry, we're all gonna go see the Uwe Boll movie. We will. I want my propaganda tendies.
Man.
Yeah.
It looks like it's not playing. Yeah, it looks like it's not playing anywhere near me. Unfortunately, maybe I'll just have to rent it.
But check this out. It's gonna be. It's gonna stream digitally too. You can watch it like on like Fandango at home.
That's good because I hear you're not allowed to jerk off in theaters.
Yeah,
ask Pee Wee Herman about that. See how that worked out.
That's
for
the
him.
kind of stuff I like to spank it to. Fucking hate crimes.
I might have I gotta be careful. I might have a xenophobic ejaculation.
Not again.
But
this happens every time.
Shout out Army Hammer. Canceled King.
Yeah, he wanted to cannibalize women, man. That's what got him off, and he's like thought that was cool, man. He thought the lady he was speaking to would be like, yeah, that's so hot. Like, I want you to eat me, but like, my skin. So
was he saying that on Tinder?
I think he was texting a lady, and she had to screenshot him and turn him into the fucking.
No, then they made a fucking documentary about it. Hilarious. And he was like an A-list actor too.
Yeah, They made a documentary about that subject. Like, oh wow, what's it called?
No way.
You have it in front of you?
You just it was called like House of Lies or some stupid shit.
Oh, I'm gonna pregame with that shit, man. Give me the lube.
No, I think it was called House of Hammer. It was something stupid like that.
Not the horror movies though.
Yeah, not Hammer horror films.
Wow, cool. It's gonna be like a less gay Dexter or something.
Oh, and the dude Costas Mandylor, the dude who played the detective in the latter half of the Saw series, is in it. So that's
that guy's good.
What was it?
That's a cool name.
Detective
Costas.
Hoffman.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that should be good weekend activities to get out, and I don't know. I hope it's good, and if it's not, it's gonna at least be half good. So it's gonna be better than one battle after another, which I watched just because I hate watch things, and like the female lead in that is actually really hot, and that's like how they subvert you. But like, luckily she's not in it for some of it. But like, Sean Penn was a fucking
that was embarrassing.
Terrible. It's such a bad movie, man.
Probably the worst performance I've ever seen. And didn't they give him an Oscar
really
for that
bad.
shit?
Yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah. Minister of Propaganda. Fucking.
But like objectively, was a terrible performance. Like embarrassing.
Yeah, it was really bad. Yeah. And like the ending when he died, like that
so
was stupid. Yeah. And like, dude, the fucking. The shit where like they were I'm glad you've seen this fucking turd. Like it's like what they think right-wing people are, like, oh, welcome to the super fun time Christmas club or Santa Claus enjoyers club. It's like, come on, man. Like, ugh. But it was really, really bad.
Yeah, but hopefully Citizen Vigilante will will totally make up for it.
Hopefully.
Will be completely vindicated.
It's not about communism.
Hollywood will be back, baby. We're
yeah.
gonna have
Oh, maybe. We're going to take it back.
Based Hollywood is back.
It's like
we're so back.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
There's a movie called The Brigade that's highly recommended. It's not a fantastic book by any means, but let's just say some Hollywood things happen, and what we just spoke about happened, and Hollywood is so back. But it's a good book. It's a fiction book about a revolution in the Pacific Northwest by separatists, but and it actually takes place, and it starts immediately after all that stuff happened with that happened in that movie The Order that we talked about last time. Like after that after they killed the radio guy, like it starts.
Was his name Alan Berg or something?
Yeah, it starts the day after that. That's when that movie starts, but it's a wildly different ending than what happened in real life. So let's just say a happening occurs. But it's a really good book. Really good book. So
now, is this like a forbidden book, or can you get it on
absolutely.
Amazon?
This is sounding pretty forbidden.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's forbidden. You can get it pretty easily. Like you can buy it on eBay, and it's like print on demand. It may be like $30 though. It's fucking thick. It's really, really long. And again, it's not a great book. Like it's not like literature, but it is good fan fiction for based individuals. But I think I got mine on eBay, and it was there's a guy in Kentucky, I think, that sells a lot of those books. Like he sells the one that that we talk about sometimes that rhymes with what? How do you say it?
People can infer which book we're talking about.
The other Bible.
Yeah.
But and then fucking he put like there's another like that same author put out something called like The Scorpion's Den or something. It's like more it's like right wing fiction stuff. But he puts it out. So just look up The Brigade, and you'll know that it's that one because it'll look sketchy. So but it's basically about an army in the Pacific Northwest when they've had enough. So here we go. Serpent's Walk. Yeah.
I see it.
It's a little bit more sci-fi. It's pretty good though. It takes place in 2049. So but it's like sci-fi right wing, but yeah, Brigade is pretty good. It took a while to read just cuz it was like it's kind of I don't know, but it gets good, man. The ending is really good.
I'd never heard of that. It's interesting. Like I always try to look out for books like this. I've never heard of this. I guess they're doing their job by suppressing it.
Yeah, he wrote a few more in that series. I think it's actually a what do you call it? A trilogy.
Oh wait, I've heard of these. Yeah. There's an Instagram account that shares banned books, and I think
that probably might have been where I found it. Or interesting. No, I'm not gonna say that. But I found it pretty easily. So now that I remember, my friend sent me a link, or he told me about it, and then the guy just did it on eBay. Like a lot of those books are just print on demand. Like I've had I sent you that book I sent you?
Yeah.
That recently, that was a print on demand. Like that's not the artwork. Like I made a cover for that. The original artwork. Did you see the original artwork?
Yeah, it's included in the book. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, that's fucking lame for how serious this book is.
Yeah.
But I made that print on demand. They didn't read that. Of course, that's not outwardly bad. You know what I mean? But it is wrong think. So
wait, I'm looking at a biography of the guy who wrote Serpent's Walk.
Harold Covington.
No, this M.A.R. Barker. And that stands for Muhammad Abd al-Rahman Barker, born Philip Barker, This guy's background is wild. This was actually somebody in the academic humanities who was moonlighting as an NS fanfiction novelist.
Oh, no, yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about. Yeah.
And who seems to have converted to Islam.
Yeah.
Probably for the reason that the Muslim Gauze guy did.
Okay, so to be clear, like on the Serpent's Walk that I'm talking about, on the cover, the author was Randolph D. Calverhall. But so it's that guy, but
it's a pseudonym.
That's a pseudonym. Okay, I mean that makes
Yeah.
sense. But but is he white and he converted to Islam?
Yeah. So I mean that is lame, but is also a very That is a very 21st. That's a very current year internet type thing to do.
That was happening a lot.
Based Islam, but he did write this. He was a scholar of Urdu and South Asian studies. So I mean he was like a scholar of Pakistan and stuff. So that's probably one reason he converted. But he also made an early RPG game and wrote this novel. So religion, definitely whatever our reservations about his religion, definitely an interesting guy.
Yeah,
I've seen this cover around several times.
I'd rather have coffee with him than like some other dipshit that did other things. Just
exactly.
To put it lightly.
Yeah. I was gonna say, you a guy you could have a beer with, except of course he wouldn't drink a beer.
Did that's wild though that he converted and whatever, man. People get so far deep they go out the other side. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
But living his best life, man. But yeah, that's that one I actually had an audio book of. And I didn't finish it just because I have no attention span, but I need to read I have the book too, but I got it from the same guy I got fucking The Brigade from. And I need to finish the book cuz I'm not big on sci-fi, but like books, but I feel like I should be. Like I like 60s sci-fi books, but I don't know. We'll see. Might be good. If it's based, it might be good. So it was interesting, but it was getting a little long in the long-winded with some parts. So
original based sci-fi Book of the New Sun. That's what the Terminus podcast is named after. The sword Terminus Est from the Book of the New Sun.
Oh, okay.
Gene Wolfe.
I think I've heard of Gene Wolfe before.
Yeah,
I've heard of Gene Wolfe.
It's basically, I think, more than anything, it is the source text for Warhammer 40K. It's a future world that has quote unquote declined from an age of high technology to a sort of techno-medieval state. And this world is, it's nominally supposed to be in a bad way, supposed to be dying. However, it is manifestly more interesting and beautiful and cool in every way than our current reality. The religion of the future in his books is a fusion of Hinduism and Catholicism, which just sounds an awful lot like something an Evolite would say.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
He has some interesting remarks about his politics being, quote, difficult to pin down. Which
I wonder what that can mean.
Yeah. He said I align on some things with the far left and on some things with the far right, and on others I'm a centrist. It's very cool. It is it's masterfully written because he's influenced really by like the modernist writers of the. He's obviously influenced by stuff like Tolkien, but he's also influenced by like modernist poets and stuff in the early 20th century. He is very beautiful crystalline prose, and yeah.
Yeah, I'm always on the lookout for like actually good sci-fi stuff, so I'll have to check that out.
I think you'd like it. It's
sorry.
Go on.
No, I was gonna say the premise of that it sounds like a kind of a different. I don't think this was based on a book. I'm getting really fucking nerdy here. but it sounds like the same premise, but like but it's more futuristic. And there was this game called Shadowrun, which may have also been.
I heard of that.
So like that may have been a book. I used to play that shit on like Genesis and Super Nintendo, I think. But it was basically like kind of like the cyberpunk version. This was in the 90s. It was before the internet, but like you were in like these cities that were totally just fucking trashed, and like you were basically an outcast detective because you had the wrong beliefs, kind of, and then like so you kind of use your hacker skills to like go around and fucking do terrorist acts and shit. But it was but like you like definitely bring the system down and shit. It was cool, man. There's like aliens and stuff.
Was it like an isometric type game, like the original Fallout?
Explain
like,
what that
I think it was
is.
a tabletop game.
No, I'm actually talking about the video game. Shadowrun, I'm not sure if Shadowrun was also a tabletop game. I know there was a lot of lore behind it. It may have been a LARP game too. Like
basically, isometric is just like where it's you kind of hover above the city and character.
Yes. Yeah. Depending on the stage, sometimes it's first person. Like if you go and you have to like go into a corporate building and plant some bombs, it may be first person, but then it goes back. Yeah. Because you're like walk around in these abandoned buildings and shit and plant bombs and kill cops and stuff. It's fucking, it's crazy. And you have to assassinate people. You can do jobs and shit and build credits and get bigger guns to take out the government.
Yeah, this sounds pretty, I'm looking at this. This sounds pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, it was awesome, man.
Yeah.
It was on a few different platforms, but I forget which one was like the sweet spot. But I'm totally dating myself now. But it was a decent game, man. So. But I'm not sure if it was based. It probably wasn't based on a book, but the premise seems similar as far as ideology with Warhammer. But I know Warhammer is way deeper. Like that shit's been around forever, and it's like involved and intricate, and like the lore is like really fucking extensive in a good way. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, so
yeah. I would say the Warhammer universe is one of the great artworks of our time. Really. Yeah. So.
Oh, speaking of, check this out.
Shit.
Look at these. I got some old issues of White
Dwarf.
Dwarf.
Some ancient White Dwarf.
Oh, yeah.
What is that? I don't know
Sick.
what White Dwarf is.
It's the Warhammer magazine.
Oh, huh.
I've always wanted to learn how to paint in the heavy metal style. How they show you in
Man,
here.
that shit. Those things are so fucking crazy, dude. Like. There's like record stores here, like used record stores and hobby shops and shit way back in the early 90s. Like, yeah, dude. And like they had all those
very
things,
nice.
Like, blanks.
Is that an Iron Warrior?
Chaos or what? I always blank. So, dude, just full transparency. It's been like 2 years since I painted those. I'm trying to remember the exact. It's like blood.
Ladies.
Hold on. Chaos Marine, blood. I think it was the Black Legion.
Always thought it was great that
Black
people
Legion,
like
Black Legion, yeah.
People took the time to paint that shit and play the game. It's fucking crazy, man. It's very, very involved, and it was I just never was part of that, but I always thought it was cool.
Yeah. I did this because from what I read, it was one of the easier starter type of Space Marines to do. So. Yeah.
It looks good, man.
Thank you. It's been 2 years since I painted those. I've been wanting to do some more.
I haven't played in I haven't actually played, or I guess actually not true. I restarted started playing some Horus Heresy games with a buddy of mine recently, and it's been great. I just don't have a 40k army, but in middle school in the early 2000s, I had a high elf fantasy army.
Oh,
and,
cool.
Been meaning to bring those back.
Have you read any of the Horus Heresy books? I know there's like 70 of them.
Well, same buddy very kindly granted me access to his audiobook library. Shout out to you, bud. And I have been going through them. It's there's a ton of them. A couple of my friends are in very deep on those.
Yeah, it says there's 65 books, which is crazy.
Yes.
Jesus Christ, man.
It's very hit or miss. But the first couple are, especially the very first Horus Heresy novel.
Horus Rising.
Horus Rising is really good.
Yeah, I think I have that. Haven't cracked it open yet though. That's Dan Abnett, right?
Yeah, Dan Abnett is really good, and a couple of, and the ones after that all have their strengths and weaknesses for a while, until you get to the God, there's one of them that's kind of a stinker, but it's let's see. I mean, well, who knows? Nobody needs to know my feelings about the Horus Heresy writing sequence. I was trying to provide some content, but that's not really the content anyone needs.
Dude, the autists are in traction right now because they're like, I have to listen to the end. What are
you
they
guys
doing?
haven't fucking talked about fucking Blazebirth Hall in 25.7 minutes, and I have to listen because I have to time it. My fucking timer. Oh my god.
Dude, this is
30 minutes of anal cunt, 3 hours. Oh my god.
It's an iconic part of the podcast where we devolve into talking about random shit.
Yeah, man, it's called fucking fellowship with your friends, dude.
In which we learn that the real Blazebirth Hall was the friends we made along the way.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, here, I can tie it back around to and then we can end after this. So Blazebirth Hall, can you? So it's a collective name for a collective. Is it an actual name for like a recording studio? Because I've seen notes where it said recorded at Blazebirth Hall. Was that basically just like Kaldrad's house? Does anyone have some context?
Probably wherever the 4-track was, man.
Okay.
I've always heard it was just like the name of it. It was like their collective. They probably didn't even use gay words like collective, but
just like their
it was. There's probably had. I mean, you have to consider like it's in the like Eastern Europe, and it was still poor, and that's why so many things came out on tape there. Still, when CDs were booming because it was cheap.
Yeah, it wasn't just like an aesthetic choice.
Shared,
like it was necessary.
Yeah, they probably shared a fucking 4-track, or one dude had one and he was good at it, and they just called it Blazebirth Hall. I mean, I'm sure some fucking artist is.
You think it was their name for the 4-track? That's awesome.
That no.
That is the
like,
Blazebirth Hall. No, like wherever it resided, that's where the Blazebirth Hall was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's that I like that. That's
I always like in my head for some reason I thought of some like Viking hall where they just had access. I know this is retarded, but I was like, okay, well maybe they have some sort of access to this like grand, massive wooden hall that they're recording all these albums in.
Dude, I love that. Their secret base.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, I mean not metaphorically. I don't believe in metaphors, but you know, on a higher plane, they do, right? I mean, it is. Okay, here's a take. I understand that people have their reservations about the way this guy has positioned himself recently, or like, you know, with that he was like claiming more affinity to BBH than he could legitimately claim. I think the Sternatus record was phenomenal. And actually, after listening to that, it made me want to listen to Blazebirth Hall more. And I started digging through more.
That's what I got from that. You know, like that stuff was always BBH worship. You know, and that's fine.
And he did collaborate with those guys, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, obviously he was not a member of the circle, but basically, you know, that album, which is just called Blazebirth Hall, that has the cover art. The cover art shows you what Blazebirth Hall is. It's Valhalla.
Yeah.
Blazebirth Hall it's a kenning, you know, it's one of these skaldic images. It's the hall into which one is born from the blaze, like the funeral pyre. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I always kind of thought of it as, you know. But so I'll say this, one band I was also listening to this week in getting ready for this, because they always remind me of Blazebirth Hall, and they have a big discography, is that band Paysage des Verts from Switzerland. I love that stuff, man. I think that kind of has a Blazebirth Hall. It's not politically or anything, but that guy's got some shit that is phenomenal. Puts me in the same place, man.
Dude, I would not pay you to. I would not think that you would like that band. I love Paysage des Verts, but I wouldn't think that you'd like that.
Why not, dude? It's fucking amazing, man. It's so good.
I would. maybe hipster coded a little bit, even though that's definitely
Really?
not. It's definitely not hipster coded, but I could.
Well, I'm not online that much, man.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I never knew they were cool. Like I know they got reissued on vinyl, but
Well,
and
they
their
fit
shit's
a
expensive.
They fit a certain niche where it's raw and weird enough to be authentic, but because it doesn't have because it doesn't have like a death rune on it or whatever, it's like acceptable to listen to.
Yeah.
But like that doesn't really say anything about the quality of the music. It's not really my thing. To me, it's too much like the aspects of Branacall that can lose me sometimes. But like, it's definitely
that's my favorite part. Like I am a fucking simp for some shit where like there'll be a song and it's like the same riff for 19 minutes and then it just stops. Then it's just dude just walking in the snow. You just hear like and then a door close, then it comes back into the fucking riff. That's fucking deep, dude. I love that shit, man. Abigor used to do that stuff before they got all fruity.
Yeah, the Door
And, like,
Creek
it's
samples.
just-
Shout out.
Yeah, man. Fucking that. I love that. It's just weird, man. It's just bizarre. But yeah, it's
no.
very-
I was gonna say
very
it's a very
hypnotic.
it's a very respectable band. It's not my thing, but like it's very legit. It's not. I can see why hipsters like it, but it's not a hipster band. Yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea that people liked them. I knew it sold out, but I just thought it was because everything sold out because it came on a plastic circle. You know what I mean? So
It's
But,
what does it comes on thrice melted down wax plastic shit. Because what does our friend always say is that everything, if it's a vinyl that's pressed now, it's like made of 1,000 other records that had previously been pressed because everything is just recycled now.
Oh yeah, I mean, I used to work for a fucking record factory, man. That's what it was, dude. And then that's what virgin
Melt.
vinyl means.
I think he calls it melt.
Oh yeah, they like that's what virgin vinyl means. It's like the vinyl was not made from that recycled trash.
So that's
Like,
the
'cause they
destiny
break
of
it
all
down.
Styro.
Yeah, yeah.
To be melted down and
back
turned
to
into
the
more
styro
Styro.
from whence ye came.
It's to be melted
Ye
down
came from
and
styro, and from styro ye shall return.
It's the circle of life for Styro. Sit in some dude's distro for like 17 years collecting dust, and he sends it off to Kentucky for it to be thrown in a fucking in a trash pile. Only
That's
to be melted
fucking
down.
hard, man. You could write a brutal death record about that. Fate or a DSBM record, right? The death metal guy would love this. Fate of Styro. Your existence is to collect dust for 17 years and then be melted down.
Yeah.
To be turned into more worthless black metal.
Yeah, it just proliferates itself. It's fucking it's the eternal return, man.
All right, I think with that we should sign off. Anything else from anyone else?
No, man, it's good to have our friend here on as a guest.
This was awesome.
I'm sorry I didn't do homework on you, man. Like
it's all good, dude.
I trusted our buddy here, and I was like, hey, if you say so, man, you're not gonna put on some fruitcake. And I knew that your shit was legit, so it was good to have you, man. And it was it was a cool one, and I think this is the first chapter of an ongoing Blazebirth Hall saga, because there's so much to cover. Like I said, we could do one on Caldrad. Probably won't. That's a little fruity, but we could, you know.
Yeah, there's so
on
much.
his
There's so
output.
much to dive into in this circle.
But there's more, because it's such a deep subject, man. And yeah, it was good having you, man.
Hey, honored, and it's been a pleasure. Yeah, real fun.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, it
And
was a
as
great
always, we have
conversation.
no idea what the fuck we're gonna do in a couple of weeks, but it'll come to us, you know, within hours of hitting record.
Yeah, I'll be
But,
sending messages after this, like, dude, we should definitely cover I don't know, Gauntnia Cree, Wolfnoct.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, wait.
Wolfnock would be good.
Oh wait, I have a good answer for what I've been listening to. One more thing.
Yo.